Last Raps Baseball is on the air, and tonight we are bringing you Game 4 of the Climax series between the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Orix Buffaloes, live from Osaka, Japan. Welcome, everybody. We are going to be giving you the ball game here tonight. This is Game 4. It is an elimination game featuring these two teams. I'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome aboard, everybody. It is going to be a Game 4 of the Climax series between the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Orix Buffaloes. We are giving this one here to you tonight. It is going to be an elimination game, as we said, and so it'll be interesting to see how this one all plays out when the smoke is finished in a couple hours' time. Well, first of all, I'll give you the starting lineups from the Fukuoka Ball Club. And leading off and playing second base is number 68, Masaka Momori. Hitting second and playing in left field is number 23, Yukio Shudo. Batting third in center field is number 36, Taisi Makihara. The cleanup spot in right field is Yuki Yanagita. Batting fifth and doing the designated hitting is Alfredo Despania. Batting sixth at first base is number 7, Akira Nakamura. Hitting seventh and playing shortstop is number 6, Kenta Imamiya. Hitting eighth and playing third base is 00. That is going to be the third baseman, Kawase. And batting ninth and doing the catching is Takuya Kai. He wears number 19. It is going to be Taisuke Yamaoka on the mound for the Buffaloes. He is 6-8. He's worked 128 innings. He's allowed 118 hits, 42 runs, 37 earned. He's walked 27 and struck out 99. And he has a 2.60 earned run average. Well, that's the lineup for the Hawks and who they're facing. Now the lineup from the home team for the Buffaloes. Leading off in center field is number 1, Shuhei Fukuda. Batting second at third base is number 6, Yuma Mune. Hitting third and playing in left field is Kai Nakagawa. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is Masataka Yoshida. Batting fifth in right field is number 99, Yataro Sugimoto. Hitting sixth at second base is number 3, Ryo Adachi. Hitting seventh and at first base is Yuma Tangu. Batting eighth is the shortstop, number 24, Kataro Kobayashi. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. They're going to face the veteran left-hander in Tsuyoshi Wada. The 40-year-old has a 7-4 record. He's worked 81 innings. He's given up 64 hits, 28 runs, 25 have been earned, walking 22 and striking out 75 and pitching to a 2.78 ERA. Well, tonight, these two teams, if I'm giving my prediction tonight, I think it is going to be 2 in a row for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. I think Wada will get the job done, as he will probably go 4 or 5 innings. Sometimes they have a tendency, and then it'll be the bullpen to bring the Hawks home. I think this game series will be eventually won by the Buffaloes, but we're going to have to wait another night for that. And that is my opinion on this one. So that's how it looks as we are ready to get this one underway. Yamaoka has completed his warm-up tosses. And this game is about ready to get served up for us straight away. Well, who is batting first? It's going to be Masaki Momori and then Yukio Shudo and Taisi Makihara, 1, 2, 3 hitters in the batting order, and we are about to get ourselves underway. And here comes the first pitch of the ball game as the right-hander Yamaoka kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Momori on the series is 2 for 11. It has been the top part of the batting order that has not got the job done against the Buffaloes. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes even to 1-1. The top 3 hitters in the batting order are a combined 6 for 36. And that poses a problem when you're trying to score runs, like getting runners on base so the meat of the order can bang them in. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count now is 1-2. On top of that, Momori who last night in yesterday's game, he had some fantastic plays at second base. Defensively, he's been very good, but offensively at the plate, he has been what I would call erratic. He had a sacrifice bunt that he ended up failing to run to first on immediately, and he ended up getting himself thrown up. And there was a fastball taken for a called third strike. He stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched that go by for out number one. Mori is in the books, and that will bring up the left fielder, Yukio Shudo. Well, for Shudo, on this series, he is 2 for 13, and it's actually a bit of a surprise because Yukio Shudo has had some times where he has wreaked havoc on the base paths. Of course, he's reached on fielder's choices. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep center field. Moving back on it is Fukuoka, and he makes the grab. And that is going to do it for Shudo. 2 up and 2 away, and that will leave it up to the center fielder, Taisuke Makihara. Well, for Makihara, he is 2 for 12 in the series. Another one of those in the top spots. He, of course, tonight, it's a little bit different. He has been in the batting orders, but he hasn't been hitting it near the top. It's Yanagita has been in the 3-hole last night. In the first couple of games, it was Makihara was the hitter there in game 1. The first pitch is taken for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So they had slid Yanagita and Despania down and moved Makihara back up in the lineup. As he's waiting on the offering from Yamaoka, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes even to 1-1. I have to say, tonight's crowd is the best crowd that I've seen so far. It is a Saturday in Japan, and some of the games early in the series, the upper deck, you could have your own section if you wanted to. A little disappointing for a playoff series to have that many empty seats. There is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Makihara. Defensively tonight, we'll give it to you. The rundown here for the Hawks in the outfield from left to right. Kai Nakagawa is in left. The center fielder is Fukuda. In right field, it is Yutaro Sugimoto. And we'll get back to that in the next half inning as there's a fastball swung on and missed. Makihara is down on strikes for out number 3, and that is going to do it here in the top of the first inning. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are through a half inning in Osaka. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, 0, and the Orix Buffaloes coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with the call of the bottom of the first inning in just a moment, and our friend Shotgun Shell is in the house, so you know it's going to be a good night tonight. Nothing, everybody, as we cruise to the bottom of the first inning. We'll be back in just a few with the call after this. Welcome back, everybody. Seo Shiwada has completed his warm-up tosses. We are ready to resume the action here as it's the top of the order coming up for the Buffaloes. That's Shuhei Fukuda, Yuma Mune, and Kai Nakagawa to get things going. The veteran lefty is hoping to extend the series here as he delivers his first offering to Fukuda. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Fukuda in the series is 3 for 12. As Wada rocks into the delivery, he kicks and he fires. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is now 1-1. Defensively tonight for the Hawks, from left to right across your YouTube channel, it'll be the left fielder is going to be Yukio Shudo tonight, as a breaking ball misses down and the count is 2-1. The center fielder is Taisi Makihara, and he is Yuki Yanagita in right field. Around the horn from first to third, we'll get to in a moment here after the delivery from Wada, who kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up down the left field line, and it is going to be playable as the left fielder Shudo comes over and makes the catch in foul territory. And Fukuda is gone for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first inning. Around the horn from first to third, it's Akira Nakamura is at first. The second baseman is Masaki Momori. The shortstop is Kenta Imamiya, left-hander against the left-hander. Wada rocks into the delivery, and he kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. It's on the backhand side by Momori. He throws to first, and Mune is retired on a groundout 4-3 for out number 2. So two up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to Kai Nakagawa here in the first. Well, Nakagawa is 4 for 11 on the series. He has been one of the more consistent hitters. The middle part of the batting order with Nakagawa, Yoshida, and Sugimoto here tonight, all with multiple hit games. But the other part is they've been able to string some of those hits together. And they have out-hit the Hawks in this series, but they are the ones that have been able to do it and do it in a timely manner. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Nakagawa. Nakagawa batting from the right side against the lefty Wada, who rocks into the delivery, and he delivers a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count now is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Nakagawa. Be followed by the designated Masataka Yoshida. The designated hitter Masataka Yoshida, should he get himself on base. And here's the 0-2 pitch as Wada delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Nakagawa is down on strikes for the third out of the inning, and the Buffaloes are going to go quietly. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We are through 1 complete in Osaka. It is the Buffaloes no score and the Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the heart of the batting order to get things going here for the Hawks in their half of the second inning. That means Yuki Yanagita, Alfredo Despaigne, and Akira Nakamura to come and face the right-hander Yamaoka, who is on for his second inning of work. Yanagita on the series is 3 for 10. He's got no homers and an RBI. He bats from the left side against the offerings of the right-hander Yamaoka, who delivers a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. Yanagita was the big star of the series against the Saitama Cebu Lions. He had a couple of homers and 7 runs batted in that time. And there is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-1. He was, as I say, he was one of those ones that had the big series. He had a 3-run homer and a grand slam in the 2 games. And he was basically threw the Hawks on their back and carried the mail. There's a breaking ball that swung on and missed. The count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count. If there is another game tomorrow, and as we predicted at the top of the stream, we think there will be, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow. There's a fastball that misses, and the count is now 2-2. The Japanese series won't begin until the 22nd. So if this game is done today, it's an entire week between games. There's a breaking ball swung on its tap foul behind home plate. The count remains at 2-2. Last year, we had some trouble getting ourselves a feed to call the Japan series. So I don't know if this will be the last game or second last game or third last game that we'll do. And hopefully we can get ourselves a feed that is somewhat reliable, and we'll be able to share that with you. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Yanakita is down on strikes for the first out of the inning. So 3 of the first 4 are out via the strikeout. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Alfredo Despaigne. Our friend in the living room asked the question. He says, are you staying away from the MLB? The big problem that I've got with the MLB is I can't give any consistent calls just because of my own time frame, and it's been one of those things there. So I've had a chance to watch just a lot of things that are getting in the way. There's a fastball delivered to Despaigne. It is popped up softly over to second base. Moving over underneath it is the second baseman, Adachi, and he makes the grab. Despaigne is disposed of for the second out of the inning, 2 up and 2 away. I'll give you the defensive alignment for the Buffaloes. We started in the first inning, but they went pretty quick. From left to right field across your YouTube channel, it is going to be Kai Nakagawa in left. The center fielder is Shuhei Fukuda. Yutaro Sugimoto gets the start for the first time in the field in right. Around the horn from first to third, it's Yuma Tongu at first. The second baseman is Ryo Adachi. At short, it's Kitaro Kobayashi. And the third baseman is Yuma Mune, with the battery of Yamaoka and Wakatsuki. And the first pitch delivered to Nakamura. It's a fastball missing outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Nakamura, 2 for 5 in the series so far, takes a fastball for a called strike. The count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is to Nakamura. The right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that just misses up and away, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. The right-hander again kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep center field. Moving back on it is Fukuda, who makes the catch, and that is going to do it. 6 up and 6 away here for the Hawks to begin the ball game. They had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving quickly here in Osaka. Your score is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 0, and the Orix Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with the call in just a couple moments. Appreciate you being here. Our friend at the living room says, where's Mick tonight? He wants some Australian basketball. Well, you missed it the other night. There was actually another guy in here who was looking for ABL or NBL or whatever they call that stuff down there as well. Hang tight, guys. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the Buffalo batting order to come to bat to face the starter Mawada. It is going to be Masataki Yoshida, Yutaro Sugimoto, and Ryo Adachi. We're back a little bit early from our stream, and we'll kind of give you some of the pieces that we thought tonight. We were talking at the top of the stream that we felt that it would be a game to win would be that of the Hawks tonight. I just feel that the veteran Wada will step up and give them a good quality start. They'll be able to get the bullpen in check, but they're going to have to find a way to unlock the key to success against the starter, Taisuke Yamaoka. Yamaoka has only delivered 20 pitches in the first 2 innings. He is cruising right along. He's done his part in throwing strikes and inducing the hitters into outs, and quick ones at that. So Masataka Yoshida at the plate. He watches the first pitch. It's a breaking ball that floats on ball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Yoshida's 5 for 11 in the series. He's got a homer and an RBI. As he waits here on the offering from Wada, he rocks into the motion and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is even at 1-1. Yoshida, Sugimoto, and Adachi here in the second inning for the Buffaloes. Buffaloes are in their home whites with the dark piping down their leg, and there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 1-2. The Fukuoka Ball Club is again in their black tops and the white pants. They've stayed with the same look so far throughout this entire series. As here's the 1-2 pitch as Wada delivers a fastball that swung on and missed. And Yoshida goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning. Wada reared back and put a little extra on that one to retire the designated hitter for the Buffaloes for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the right fielder, Yataro Sugimoto. Well, for Sugimoto, he is 5 for 11 on the series. He's got a homer and 4 RBIs. Last night was the first night in the series that he went hitless, as he got off to a very strong start in the first 2 games of this Climax series. There's the first pitch breaking ball that misses inside. They appeal down to the first base umpire, but they say he didn't go. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Sugimoto. Batting from the right side against the left-handed throwing Wada, he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There is going to be some updates that are coming along. We see that have announced that the draft is going to be in the month of November. And it's not that far away. It's amazing how quickly this month is clicking by. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into deep left center field. Moving over to his right and making the catch is the center fielder Taisi Makihara, and that is going to retire Sugimoto for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Ryo Adachi. Well, for Adachi on the series, he is 1 for 4. He got the start in game 2. It has been the other second baseman who has been getting the opportunity. That's Nishino, who has started 2 of the 3 games. Actually, he started all 3 games. It was Adachi got the nod at shortstop in game 2. But today he is playing second base. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Adachi. Left-hander against the right-hander. Wada rocks into the delivery, and he fires a fastball that swung on and is lifted softly over to second. Momori on the run comes in and makes the catch, and that is going to do it, as Adachi has popped out to the second baseman for the third out of the inning. And just like their counterparts, they go quickly and quietly as well, do the Buffaloes in their half of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. 20 minutes into the ball game, we're already moving to the third inning. How about those apples? We are coming back in just a couple moments with the top of the third. Glad you guys could make it in here with us tonight. Should be an exciting one from Osaka. 0-0, Hawks and the Buffaloes. We'll be right back after this. Nothing, Hawks and Buffaloes. We'll be back in 30 seconds with the call of the top of the third after this, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Welcome back, everybody. It's the bottom third of the batting order to come to bat here. It's Kenta Imamiya, and it's Kawase and Takuya Kai to get things going against Yamaoka, who delivers a breaking ball for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Imamiya. Imamiya looking for his first hit of the series. He is 0 for 8. He began the first 4 at-bats of the series were all via the strikeout, and he's finally started to put the ball in play. I'm sure the first hit is going to follow, as he takes a breaking ball outside for a ball, and the count is 1-1. Imamiya had himself a fine season this year. He hit close to 300, just falling below the mark. One of his best offensive seasons in the NPB, and there's a breaking ball that swung on and missed. And the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Imamiya waiting here on the offering as Yamaoka working quickly as he gets his sign from his catcher, Wakatsuki, and he goes back to work. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field, and it's going to go right to the glove of Sugimoto, who has to move only a couple of steps to his right to make the catch. Imamiya hit the ball hard, but right to the glove of the right fielder Sugimoto, and he is gone for out number 1. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Kawase. Well, for the third baseman, this is his first start. So Akira Kawase coming to the plate. It's his first start of the series. We've seen him come in defensive replacement, and the first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. He is a 25-year-old who was the 6th overall pick in the 2015 draft. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. He played 73 games this year. He had 90 at-bats. He bats from the left side against the right-handed throwing Yamaoka. He hit .278, best year of his career. And there is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded softly over to first. It is fielded by Tongu. He waves off the pitcher, and he takes it himself. It's going to go down as a ground out to 3 for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the catcher, Takuya Kai. Well, for Kai on the series, he has been the hottest hitter for the Hawks. He is 5 for 10. Yesterday, he had some base running shenanigans as he got caught. He was caught stealing. He got hung up in between first and second, and then they attempted a suicide squeeze when Yukio Shuda was at the plate, and Kai was hung up between third and home as they had pitched out the left-handed hitting Shudo, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So the catcher Kai had got hung up on a couple occasions, having to run the bases, and he was struggling. So no balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. If there is a Game 5 in this series tomorrow, we will bring it to you again. Same time and same place in the middle of the night in North America. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike to Kai. It is going to be a late night affair. All the games will start at 2 a.m. Pacific or 5 a.m. Eastern. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined foul. It's going to reach the netting down the right field line. Runs the count to 2-2. So both of these teams are looking for their first base runner in this ball game. The right-hander Yamaoka has retired the first 8 he has seen, and Awada the first 6 he has seen. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander delivers. It's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike. And Kai stood there like the house by the side of the road, watched it go by for out number 3. This game here is in complete overdrive as we are now moving to the bottom of the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 2.5. It is the Hawks no score and the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Ice Hockey 77 in the house says he's got $5 on the Buffaloes to win tonight. So he says, let's go Buffaloes. And that is kind of where we're at. And that is my theme of the night tonight. As I said, I think the Hawks are going to win this one. So I think your $5 would have been better spent tomorrow night to our friend Ice Hockey. But we're glad you are with us tonight. It's going to be the bottom third of the batting order. It's going to be Yuma Tongu, Kotaro Kobayashi, and Kenya Wakatsuki come to bat here in the last half of the third inning. We are yet to see a base runner from either team, as both of the pitchers have come out throwing strikes and have been effective. And so we're going to see how this is going to work out. Yuma Tongu coming to the plate. He is 0 for 5 so far in this series. He's got no homers and an RBI. As he's waiting on the first offering from Wada, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses outside for ball one. The count is 1-0. 17 pitches in the first 2 innings for Wada. It was much better, not much better, but 3 pitches better than Yamaoka. It took him 20 pitches to get through the first 2 innings. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-0. Yuma Tongu waiting here on the offering as he sees Wada go into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-0 to Tongu. So Wada has come out here, and he's lost a little bit of a feel for his pitches. As we mentioned, I'd like to think that Wada can go at least 4 or 5 innings tonight before they turn it over to the pen. And there's a fastball that misses down. That's going to be ball 4. Tongu did not look impressed with the home plate umpire, and is going to be the first base runner of the night as Yuma Tongu is aboard. That's going to bring Kotaro Kobayashi to the plate, and we would have to think we're going to see a bunt situation right now, as Kobayashi has not been swinging the bat very well. Kobayashi on the series is 1 for 6, and he actually was sat down in game 2 as Adachi got the start at shortstop. And he is now at the plate. He's already squaring the bunt. I could swear sometimes the Japanese players will start squaring the bunt in the on-deck circle rather than swing the bat. They throw over to first base, and getting back easily in time is Tongu. Sometimes teams will do that. They get in the habit in situations where they assume it's a bunt. If the player is a late break, it gives them a chance to read their hands and see what they're doing. It gets a chance for the defense to be set. So here's the offering from the lefty, and it's a bunted down. It's a good one. It is fielded by Wada. He throws to first, and Kobayashi is going to be retired. It's going to go down as a sacrifice, 1-4 for the first out of the inning. It's going to advance Tongu over to second. That'll bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, for Wakatsuki, he also is 1 for 6. He has been the starter in 3 of the 4 games. It was Tori Fushimi who got the start in game 2. So Wakatsuki coming to bat here with 1 gone and a runner in scoring position. Yet to see the first hit of the ball game for either of these 2 teams. Both of the pitchers have been sharp tonight in this one, and make you wonder if they're going to maybe try to bunt them over to third as well, the way this game has started. So here comes the first pitch from Wada, who checks the runner, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is popped up just behind second base. Coming in from shallow center field and making the catch is the center fielder, Makihara. And that is going to retire Wakatsuki for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and that brings up the top of the order in Shuhei Fukuda. Well, for Fukuda, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to left field his first time up. He is 3 for 13 on the series. So the lefty Wada ready to go here. 23 pitches so far in 2 2/3 innings of work. He's hardly broke a sweat. This could be an added bonus for the Hawks if Wada is able to go a lot further. I figured maybe 5 innings and they turn it to the pen to bring him home. This could be a lot more in the works for the veteran left-hander. Here comes the first pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Fukuda. If you were on the train from Tsukamoto to the Kyocera Dome and you missed your train, you would be shocked to know that you're in the bottom of the third already, and we're not barely half past the hour. So here comes the 0-1 offering to Fukuoka as the lefty holds set. He checks the runner. And now he kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats down the third base line, and the count is now 0-2 to Fukuoka. I really like the way in which Fukuoka battles at the plate. Fukuoka is one of those type of players. He is got himself in his position to hit. He's got a really wide stance. He chokes up a little bit off the end of the bat as he's waiting here on the offering from the lefty Wada, who holds at the belt. He checks the runner. And now he pauses a little bit more and kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses way outside, and the count is 1-2. Lefty Wada has to be careful here because it is always good for people to run on them from second base. Easier to run on lefties than it is on righties, but you certainly don't want to make the third out at third, and Yumatangu is not necessarily a big threat to run. So one would have to think he's got to focus and maintain his focus on the batter right here. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Fukuoka. As the lefty holds set again. And now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball that swung on and it's lifted foul into the seats down the left field line. And the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I was taking a look and trying to figure out where my destination will be. And I'm thinking about, I was looking at possibly getting over to overseas at the Christmas time. We were talking about that, or maybe getting to Latin America. But as time is getting closer to the Christmas time, I'm just keep thinking that probably be better served waiting a little bit and going to see some Japanese baseball at the end of August next year. Maybe getting on a plane and just heading across and catching some ball in the end of the summertime in the Japanese league. I think that's what we're going to do, and maybe trying to do that live. There's a fastball that's upstairs, but the home plate umpire jumps out and had called time before the pitch. So that's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fukuoka asked for time late as we watch on that one there, and the umpire gave it to him. Wada still continued the delivery. That's a free shot right there. If you would have come inside and drilled the hitter, you would have got a free shot at him. You wouldn't have had to, you could have had that pitch thrown and he wouldn't have been charged with a hit batter. You would have had the hitter diving out of the way for cover. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the lefty Wada picks up his sign from the catcher, he works a lot differently when there's a runner on base. The pace of the play starts to slow. And now here comes the offering from the lefty. He kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and another one fouled straight back. This one here keeps the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another fine night for Japanese baseball, and we appreciate those who have chosen to spend it with us, listening to all the calls. As we said, tomorrow we'll be back on the airwaves again for the same 2 teams should there be another game. And as I said at the top of the stream, I do think there will be one. I think the Hawks are going to prevail here tonight. Not that I'm cheering for them in particular. I just have that feeling tonight we're going to see a game 5. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. So for those of you, if you decide to check out, we'll be back tomorrow. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. But seeing that you do like the suspense, and we don't know either and can't see into the future, that's why they play the game here. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Fukuoka. Good stop there by the catcher, Kai. We get the crowd tonight. As I said, it's a much different crowd. Last night it was low camera angles, not wanting to show you the upper deck, which was a barren wasteland in the outfield. But today they have a lot of bodies in the seats. And one would anticipate as this series gets closer and closer to the 6th and final game, more people will be showing up all the time. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the lefty holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This one's lined down the left field line, foul. The count remains at 2-2 to Fukuoka. This is turning into a bit of a marathon at bat. It's turning into one of those classic ones where they battle and foul away. It's going to be the 8th pitch coming up. So Fukuoka has already earned himself a quality at bat. as he is starting to make Wada work a little bit harder than he has had to in the earlier parts. That was the 30th pitch delivered tonight by Wada. And we are only in the third inning. Lots of room left in this lefty's arm. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as he holds set at the belt. He checks the runner and now delivers. It's a fastball, and another one swung on and another one fouled away. The count remains at 2-2. I always think about some classic at-bats in Major League Baseball over time, and there's one that still strikes with me. I remember last year we were doing a game, or 2 years ago we were doing a game, and I think it was last year. I can't remember when Anthony Rizzo was traded from the Cubs to the Yankees. I think it was last year, and they were playing the Pirates. He had an 18-pitch at-bat that ended with a home run into the right field seats. It wasn't exactly the two biggest games or teams that were going on last year, but it was just an amazing at-bat by Rizzo. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As Wada delivers, it's a fastball swung on, and this is fouled away. This ball is going to just get into the seats as it's away from Shuto. That temporary seating down the left field line. Another at-bat I remember all the way back to 1984 when Dave Bergman of the Detroit Tigers was facing Roy Lee Jackson, the Toronto Blue Jays, and he had a 13-pitch at-bat at Tiger Stadium. He deposited a 3-run homer into the seats. That was the year the Tigers went on to win the 1984 World Series. Bregman was a role player on that team. He was often as a DH or pinch hitter, or sometimes would spell Darrell Evans off, and it was an absolutely incredible at-bat. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it remains. Pitch number 10 on the way here to Fukuda as the lefty holds set. He checks the runner. And now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on and another one fouled away. And the marathon continues. Great at-bat here by Fukuda, whether he wins the battle or he doesn't. This is a 10-pitch at-bat already, looking at pitch number 11, and it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. So he gets a new baseball, does Wada. He rubs it up, and now we're ready to go back at it again. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. He gets his sign from his catcher, Kai. He nods in agreement. And now Kai steps up and has asked for time. As Wada steps off the back of the rubber, that was Kai asking for the time, and they're going to recycle again. They've got the runner at second base. There's no electronic devices in the Japanese league. You don't have the headpieces and all the rest of that stuff. It's your traditional signs. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is as the lefty holds set. And now they kick and deliver. That's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded to the right side. It is bobbled and dropped by the first baseman, Nakamura. He looked like he was going to take the ball himself. Wada got over to cover, and the next thing you know, the ball is on the ground, and he's playing soccer with it. And that is going to be an error on the first baseman, allowing Fukuda to reach safely. So E3 in the scorebooks. It's going to advance Tongu over to third, and that is going to breathe second life into the Buffaloes here, as it's going to bring Yuma Mune to the plate with 2 away here in the third inning. That was unbelievable. And our friend Ice Hockey 77 says, what an at-bat, and indeed it was. And then, of course, after all that work, the first baseman, well, he fielded the ball, and it looked like as he was taking the ball out of the glove to possibly flip it to the pitcher covering, that's where he dropped the ball. And so literally dropped the ball on so many different fronts, literally and figuratively. So that brings up Mune to the plate with runners on the corners and 2 gone. And especially with Fukuda here, you're going to have to keep an eye on him. He can run a little bit. He does have some speed. So they'll come up and put up their first and third defense. Mamori, the second baseman, in play here. So the Buffaloes are looking to open the scoring with runners on the corners and 2 gone, as Yuma Mune steps in at the plate. Waiting here on the offering. Mune takes a very long time to get himself established at each and every pitch. So Wada holds at the belt. He checks the runner, and now he delivers. It's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Mune. 18th pitch of the inning so far for Wada. As that was quite the battle by Fukuoka. Nothing like a long at bat to ratchet up a pitcher's pitch count. So really, to this point in the ball game, it was almost the third of the pitches all came to that one hitter and the one at bat. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mune. The crowd is into it now, and here comes the offering from Wada. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is now 1-1, and it was a stolen base by Fukuoka, as he has got himself into scoring position as well. He decided not to make the throw down because they had the runner at third base. Don't want to give up that run. So now we got runners at second and third with 2 gone, and the open base over at first. It's taken away the force. So the left-handed hitting Mooney waiting on the 1-1 pitch. As Wada leans in, he gets the sign from his catcher, and he works into the set position. As he checks the sign from, and now we've taken too much time, or at least Mune feels that Wada's taken too much time, and he's asked for time. Steps out of the box, and he gets himself set. If I was a pitcher and I had to face Yuma Mune, I would probably quick pitch him. He gets into the box, he stares down at the ground, he gets himself really, really set. And I think I would go into motion just as he lifts up his head to try to sneak one by him. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. Now, as long as the umpires allow him to do that, then he will continue to get away with it. But I think that I would want to make him feel very uncomfortable there, and especially if you could figure out his timing. Maybe even come inside to move him off the plate or to get him early in the count. I'll feel very uncomfortable about his at-bats. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Mune. Lefty Wada now with 20 pitches in the inning. As he nods in agreement with his catcher, Takuya Kai. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Moving back on it is Shudo. He's got lots of room, and he's going to make the grab. And that is going to do it here. The Buffaloes they threaten, but they do not score as they strand a pair of runners in scoring position. And so there was no runs in the inning. There were no hits, no errors, check that, 1 error and 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 3 complete innings. It is the Orix Buffaloes no score, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the 4th inning when we return. Appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight. Here is some more of our Japanese Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 4th inning, and it'll be Masaki Momori, Yukio Shudo, and Taisi Makihara to face the right-hander Yamaoka for the 4th inning. It was a strikeout called on. It was a called on strikes to Momori his first time up, as he is 0 for 1 in this one, and he attempts to bunt at a breaking ball and misses. The count is quickly 0-1. Momori is 2 for 12 on the series. We mentioned before that the top of the order has really struggled to set the table for the Hawks as the pitch is a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul just down the first base line, and that's going to run the count to no balls and 2 strikes. Masaki Momori, and then Shudo, and then Makihara, 1, 2, 3 hitters in the batting order. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. As the kick and deliver, there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. John Cardona says he is not watching it right now, but he is definitely listening. We appreciate John for being in here. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball delivered. It is swung on. It is tapped back to the pitcher. Fielded by Yamaoka, who underhand flips to Tongu at first, and that's going to retire Momori. It's going to go down as a ground out 1-3 for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Yukio Shudo to the plate. For Yukio Shudo, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He flew to center field his first time up. And that was, he is now 2 for 14 in the series. As we mentioned, he has been on base a few times. He's reached on fielder's choices, and he squares to bunt. And he bunts through the pitch, and the count is quickly 0-1. So they're trying to do anything they can to scratch and claw their way on here. As the left-handed hitting Shudo waits, it's a fastball that backs him off the plate inside, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. These late starts are killing me. This is game 4 as we've been doing it here. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded back up the middle. It is off the leg of the pitcher, right to the shortstop Kirby-Ashi, who throws to first. A little pinball action going out on here at the mound, and they were able to retire the base runner. Oh, the stars are aligned tonight for the Buffaloes, and they're going to get a visit from the trainer as Yamaoka was drilled on that one. We're going to see if he's going to be able to continue here. We probably got to get a couple throws. They're going to take him off into the locker room as they do. As that is something we don't see in Major League Baseball. They'll come and they'll take an examination of him and see how he is. That is going to go down as a ground out, 1-6-3 on the putout. A tough way to get an assist. But the pitcher will get an assist on that one as he's going to go into the trainer's room. They're going to do a little examination on him. Our friend Stan the Man T is in the house here. He says, "Do you think it's going over?" No way, man. Not this one here tonight. I don't know what the over-under on this game was. I would assume it's got to be probably maybe 5.5 or a 6.5. I just don't think that that's going to be the case. The way that these 2 starters have come out throwing, and the bullpens are relatively fresh, I would say. Both of these guys should be good to go. So we're waiting here on the return. Trevor Parker in here says it was 6.5. Yeah, that's probably a safe estimate. I think if Wada and Yamaoka can give you 5 innings of goose eggs, then you can pretty much bank on the bullpens keeping it in check the rest of the way. There's not going to be too many runs scored. Demon Slayer in the house says 5.5. John Cardona says, did he look like he was in pain? Not really. He walked out like he was under his own power. It was pretty good. And I say that because when he walked off the mound, sometimes though, I mean, it's been a few years. I've been hit with balls. And sometimes if you get hit, it may take a moment in which to swell, or maybe you get something depending on where he got it, if he got it in the calf, might present a bit of a problem. They do look like they have some action in the bullpen area, but looks like they're getting a pitcher or two and they've stretched it out a little bit. Trevor Parker says your site is trash. You got 6.5 somewhere. I'm not sure where his site was. Demon Slayer says 5.5. Maybe it's time to go to a new site. As according to Trevor Parker, 6.5 was the day on this one. I don't know exactly how that was. I'm getting the replay again. Actually on the replay, it looked like it pinballed off of Yamaoka. It looked like it didn't just get him in one leg. It got him in both. Looked like it hit him off the right leg and then came inside and hit the calf on the left leg. And that's where it ricocheted off over to the to the shortstop. That's the first time I've had to look at the replay. Well, here comes Yamaoka. He is running back out onto the field like it was nothing, which was probably the case, but they probably went and examined him to take a look. But they are coming out with the pitching coach and the trainer, and they're going to watch him throw a couple of pitches. So we'll see how this looks here off the mound, if he's going to be good to go or not. But as I said, it was the pinball off of one leg to hit the other leg. He throws the first pitch, and he looks like he's already moving a little gingerly on that one there, but I think he's probably going to stay in it here. And he throws a second pitch, and the umpires are looking, what are we going to do here? We're going to pitch the rest of the inning up on the mound, or are we going to decide to make a go here? The umpire says, are you good? And the pitcher wants one more pitch here as he delivers. And he nods in approval that he is ready to go, and that's what we thought. So that's going to bring Taisi Makihara to the plate. Makihara is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. He bats here with 2 gone in the 4th inning. Yamaoka is not a big fella. Stan the Man says, so who do you guys like to win? At the top of the stream, I came out and said that I think tonight the Hawks are going to win. I think we are going to have another game tomorrow night, but I think the Buffaloes win the series. There was a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1. So that is how I would like to see it, or how I think it's going to happen. Shotgun Shell's got his zeros going all over the place. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-1 on Makihara. When you think about it, it's going to be probably another week of baseball for us. And as we said, if we can get the feeds for the Japan series, we'll bring it to you. We have to do some finagling and see what we get. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. And then after that, it won't be baseball until the World Baseball Classic. We're going to try to call some games from the Classic or at the Classic. Looking forward to that. Looks like I was looking at the early schedule. Looks like there's about 3 or 4 games a day in North America. Fastball swung on. It's chopped back to the pitcher, and it's got a crazy spin to it. And Yamaoka lets it roll foul. Did it hit him? That's what I want to know. Or is it going to be a foul ball and have to bring the batter back? He couldn't make the play. It is going to be a foul ball. That ball had a lot of English on it. It was really, really strange. It was close. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to make the play on the runner, and then he let the ball go, and it ended up rolling foul just before it got to the base, and that's where the first baseman, Tongu, picked it up as it rolled foul. So kind of a crazy play that way, as that's going to bring the batter, Makihara, all the way back. And there's a fastball swung on it. It is looped over the head of the shortstop into left field. And it's going to be a base hit. That's going to be the first hit of the ball game for either team. Here in the 4th inning, as Taisi Makihara has got himself a 2-out single, as he is aboard here in the 4th. And that is going to bring up the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. It was one of those little excuse me singles. It was an inside-out swing that he just happened to loop over the head of the shortstop. Our friend Ice Hockey 77 says, I don't think he meant to do that on purpose. The play, I assume, at first base, I think that was probably not by design, as there is a fastball that misses outside to Yanagita for ball 1. Yanagita 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. You have to be careful with the Fukuoka right fielder. He's in scoring position when he steps in the batter's box. So here comes the 1-0 offering. As he kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm interested in the World Baseball Classic, as we said. Once we can get one of those best-on-best tournaments, should be good fun. Good way to start the 2023 baseball season. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses inside. The count's now 2-1 to Yanagita. Can't think of anything better than getting baseball competitive games that actually mean something in the month of March. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Yanagita as the right-hander holds set at the belt. Now he kicks and he delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit in front of Sugimoto. Rounding second and heading to third is the base runner Makihara. And the Hawks now have something brewing here with runners on the corners with 2 gone, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Alfredo Despania. So nothing in terms of offense for the first 3+ innings. And now back-to-back singles from Makihara and Yanagita have the Hawks flapping their wings with runners on the corners and 2 gone here in the 4th inning. And now we have a visit to the mound from the pitching coach as Yamaoka is getting a visit. One thing I want to take a look at is the size of Yamaoka. He is not a big fella. And one of the things when I look at the specs, I see what their height is, and I don't always know. I have to do the transition from centimeters over to inches or to feet. When we see that, they list him at 172 centimeters tall. So as I said, he's not a big guy. That's about 5'6", and you can see that. He's just a little guy. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So 172 centimeters, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I stand in at 192. If I remember correctly, if that's how that works out too. 191. I think of 191 or something along those lines. 190. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down to Despania. The count's 1-1. So I've got a full 8 inches in height on Yamaoka. That's the one thing that you do see is that some of these players, they're not as big. They're not as strong. Some of the Japanese players. That's what makes Shohei Ohtani more of a unicorn than anything else. He's a big fella. And certainly by Japanese standards, that is massive. I always remember when I was in Tokyo and I was in Asakusa. There was a fastball swung on. I'll tell the story when we come back as this ball is driven into deep center field. Moving back on it is Fukuda, and he's going to make the catch as Despania is going to be retired for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, the Hawks threaten, but they don't score. They had no runs in the inning. There were 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left the board. We're now through 3.5 innings. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks no score and the Orix Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the 4th inning. And I'll tell you about the 6'8" police officer I saw in Tokyo. Unbelievable. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Shotgun Shell says he's got him listed at 5'8" and 150. Well, you're probably not that far off on either one. I guess it depends on the site. As I said, they got him listed at 172 centimeters. I just did the quick calculation that shows him that just standing underneath 5'7", 5'6.5", I think it is. But who knows? You might be right. Maybe he grew an inch in the off season, or maybe depending on the site where they've got him listed, could be a little bit different. You're looking at Baseball Reference, sometimes their sizes don't necessarily always match the other stuff, good, bad, or indifferent. There's a first pitch breaking ball delivered to Kai Nakagawa, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Nakagawa, Yoshida, and Sugimoto here to get things going in the bottom of the fourth for the Buffaloes. As the fastball is swung on, this ball is lifted into left field, and it's going to drop down for a base hit. So a leadoff single for Nakagawa. That's his 5th of the series. 5th base hit, that is. And he is aboard, and that will bring up the designated hitter, Masataka Yoshida. Our friend Demon Slayer says that's above average for Japanese. I don't know about above average, but I've got a picture where I am on a train, and I took it at face height when I was in Osaka a couple of years ago, and I'm literally a full head taller than pretty much everybody on the train. Again, I stand in at just around 6'2", and people told me when you go to Japan, you're going to be a giant. Well, I don't have to worry about looking through people to see what's coming up ahead. I can see right over everybody. So I know it was kind of funny when I was out walking around. I was in a place and there was a crowded area, and I'll tell the story in a minute, as the first pitch fastball is taken for a called strike by Yoshida. Count is 0-1. Yoshida tonight is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. And when I was walking, I was a full head taller than everybody else. And then I see this North American, I think, ahead of me, and he was literally a full head taller than me. If I was a giant, this guy was a behemoth. Unbelievable. So that's what you see sometimes in other places of the world. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted to deep center field, and moving back and looking up, and this one is gone. A home run for Masataka Yoshida to open the scoring here in the 4th inning. And the crowd in Osaka is on their feet. They are cheering a 2-run homer for Yoshida as he has opened the scoring with a 2-0 lead here in the 4th inning. So that is the first 2 hits of the ball game for the Buffaloes, and that does damage here as they have now taken the lead 2-0 in the 4th. That is going to bring up Yataro Sugimoto to the plate. Well, I had to wonder if Wada could have been able to get them at least a full 5 innings. The veteran lefty, or maybe even 6. Sometimes I've seen this year when Wada's pitched, he's only been able to go 4 innings. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball delivered to Sugimoto, and this ball is lifted into deep right field. Moving back underneath it in front of the warning track is Yanagita, and he's going to make the grab, and he is retired for out number 1 here in the 4th. So they were starting to get some loud outs as well. That ball was hit deep, just not deep enough. So keep your eye here on Wada. They've maybe figured about maybe they won't see the 3rd time through the order, as they've got to figure this out here. So it's Ryo Adachi coming to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today. He had a soft liner to the second baseman his first time up. And here's the first offering from Wada. It's a fastball that just misses inside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Masataka Yoshida, that's his 2nd home run of the series. As here's the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1 to Adachi. Well, the Buffaloes' big boppers have done the job. Yoshida is all that and more. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. For those of you who weren't with us for the first couple of games of the series, I was really lamenting Masataka Yoshida's base running abilities. On top of that, his defensive play. He is not exactly the most polished defensive left fielder. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. But you can overlook a lot of those shortcomings based on the way that he swings the bat. There's a breaking ball swung on, and this ball is lifted into right center field. Moving over underneath it is the center fielder, Makihara, who makes the catch. That is going to retire Adachi for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 away, and that will bring up the first baseman, Yuma Tongu. Well, for Tongu, he is officially 0 for 0 tonight because he walked his first time up. He was stranded at 3rd in the 3rd inning. So he bats here in the 4th with 2 gone and 2 runs on the board. And the lefty Wada works and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. I wonder what the over-under was for the first 5 in this one. Sometimes that is something there. And here comes the breaking ball. It is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-1. Demon Slayer says the average height of a Japanese male is 5. I don't know if that's 5'7" or 5 3/4, because if it was 5 3/4, that would be 5'9". But 5.74 if that's 5'7.5". So 1 ball and 1 strike to Tongu as Wada delivers. It's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. John Cardona says he thinks it was 3.5 for the first 5. Well, that shot there by Yoshida, now the people who bet on the first 5 might be biting their nails a bit. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled off on the first base side, and the count is 2-2. So Demon Slayer says 5'7.5" is basically what the average height of a Japanese male is, and that's probably correct. Here comes the 2-2 pitch as the lefty delivers. It is a fastball swung on, and it is pop foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side, and the count remains at 2-2. I think Takuya Kai is another one who's relatively small. If I remember, I looked up Kai before, and I think he's under 5'8". I want to say he's about 5'7" or 5'6". So when you think of some of these players and the physicality that they have, the biggest thing that, as somebody who's been, in the game or around the game, when I'd coached in the Western Major League, one of the things that I noticed were the smaller players or the younger guys, we had to rest those guys more frequently. They just physically couldn't stand and play day in and day out. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to third. And it's fielded neatly by the third baseman Kawase, who gets up and throws to first. And it's going to be a ground out 5-3. Really beautiful play by the third baseman to retire Tongu for the third out of the inning. Well, we've got some damage here. There was 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits. There were no errors and nobody left the board. We are now through 4 complete. It is the Buffaloes 2 and the Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the 5th inning when we return. Appreciate you guys for being with us here tonight. We'll be back for all the action in the 5th after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving now to the top of the 5th inning, and it'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters to come to bat for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. That means Akira Nakamura, Kenta Imamiya, and Akira Kawase to come to bat here in the 5th inning to face the right-hander Taisuke Yamaoka. Yamaoka has been brilliant, the 23-year-old, so far in his 4 innings of work. Well, we'll check that. We do have a relief pitcher on the mound now. It looks like it's going to be Utagawa. That's going to change things. So Yamaoka, who completed the last half inning, would pitch pretty good. It is going to be Utagawa coming in. That is news right there to keep your eye on, as the big, hard-throwing right-hander is coming on in relief. So we're going to go back and look at the replay off the right shin, off the left calf of the pitcher in that last half inning, and that is going to be it for him, as it is going to be Utagawa taking over here for the Buffaloes in the 5th inning. So that changes the dynamic of this one a little bit. There's a fastball that misses up and away to Nakamura for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. For Yuki Utagawa on the season, the rookie was 2-1 this year. He had 19 appearances, worked 22 1/3 innings, allowed 10 hits, 12 walks, and struck out 32. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. And probably the Fukuoka Ball Club is probably taking a sigh of relief. They got rid of Yamaoka that way. And there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is now 2-1. Every time or anytime the starting pitcher leaves the ball game and they've got other stuff going on, it'll be curious to see how the relievers will come in. So 2 balls and 1 strike as Utagawa holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into center field. It's going to hang up for Fukuda, who's going to make the grab. And Nakamura is retired for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. As soon as you have to start going into the bullpens, that is where things will start to change. I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to play out here for the Hawks. If the Hawks win tonight, curious to see if it's going to be Colin Ray going tomorrow night and how they're going to try to ramp up this series. So that's going to be the interesting part. The American righty get an opportunity tomorrow. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Imamiya. Kenta Imamiya 0 for 1 tonight. He lined out to the right fielder his first time up. Batting from the right side against Utagawa, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count goes even at 1-1. So the drama now is of the new pitcher in the ball game. How is this going to play out? So 1 ball and 1 strike to Imamiya. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a split-finger pitch swung on it, missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. And especially at this time of the ball game, it also kind of makes you wonder: are they going to be able to ride him for a couple of innings, or is it just going to be one? How are they going to manage this out here tonight? Curious to see if the Buffaloes might go 2 innings or try to stretch Utagawa for a second. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Imamiya is down on strikes for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Akira Kawase. Well, for Kawase, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded out to the first baseman his first time up. He is 1 for 2 on the series. Normally, he has been a defensive replacement. Tonight, he is getting the start as the starter. The first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. And Wada is up and throwing in front of the dugout with all the intention that he will be coming back in the next half inning. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. Utagawa took a little bit of something off that one, and it almost spun Kawase into the ground. So no balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander against the left-hander. The right-hander kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that is swung on and fouled away right at home plate. And the count remains at no balls and 2 strikes to Kawase. He does wear a shin guard on the right leg, and that ball hit the dirt and came up on the shin guard, although I have to say I don't know if it was protecting him where he needed it. It sort of was on the inside part of his calf, not on the shin per se. So here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Oh, it's fouled away here. Plate umpire said he got a piece of it. It looked like they were holding it up as if he was gone for strike 3, but it looks like no, it wasn't. So no balls and 2 strikes it is to Kawase. He still has life left here. And here's the pitch from Utagawa. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined to the second baseman, Adachi, who's going to make the grab, and that is going to do it for the third out of the inning. Well, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board as the Hawks go quietly in their half of the 5th. We're coming back in just a couple of moments. It is the Orix Buffaloes to the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. No score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the 5th inning when we return. Appreciate you guys for listening in. We'll be back after this. Well, we're going to have a Central League champion who is already crowned. It is the Yakult Swallows. They are going to be coming up to play the winner of this series. So the Yakult Swallows are on deck. If the Buffaloes win, it'll be a rematch of 2021. Here is a Did You Know with our featuring the Tokyo Yakult Swallows. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up for the Buffaloes here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That is going to be Kotaro Kobayashi, Kenya Wakatsuki, and the top of the order, Shuhei Fukuda, to face the veteran lefty. And that is going to be Tsuyoshi Wada, who is back on for his 5th inning of work. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. 54 pitches through 4 innings for the lefty. Wada gave up the 2 back-to-back hits, a single and a home run in the last inning to Masataka Yoshida, who drove home Kai Nakagawa with the first 2 runs of the ball game. There is a fastball delivered, and this ball is swung on and driven foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count is now 0-2. My concern with Wada is some of these pitches are now starting to get squared up. Even though that ball was a foul ball, Kobayashi was way out in front, and he smacked 2 balls hard foul. So keep your eye on Wada to see if you're on high alert for him. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded through the 6 hole past the glove of the shortstop Imamiya into left field. It's going to be a leadoff single for Kobayashi as he is aboard here to get things going in the 5th inning, and that is going to bring up the catcher Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, for Kobayashi now, that makes him 2 for 7 on the series. And Wakatsuki now coming to the plate. One would have to think that this is definitely a bunt situation. Our friend Ice Hockey says bunt him over and then try to bang him home. That will be the deal here. I would agree with you wholeheartedly, and that is exactly what it looks like that Wakatsuki is going to be doing. He's already putting himself in position to bunt. And Wada flips it over to first. It's a token toss over to first base. It had a little bit of arc on it, and getting back safely was the base runner without any issue. And out front comes the catcher, Takuya Kai, to flash some signals for their bunt defense. As Takuya Kai is engineering the ship. So Wada now ready to go. He leans in, he looks at the catcher, he gets his sign, he works set from the belt. He kicks and delivers, it is bunted, and it's back to the pitcher Wada, but it's going to go down to second base, and it's going to be in time. Oh boy, that was a gutsy play by Wada. I didn't think he was going to have a shot at the runner at second base. The bunt was not a great one. He did get it down, did Wakatsuki, but he bunted it right back to Wada, and Wada took his chance to fire down to second base, and it erases Kobayashi for the first out of the inning. We'll watch that one again. Nice play by Wada to come off the mound. It was a bang-bang play at second base. Nice job by Imamiya to hold the bag. But that is going to be a fielder's choice, 1-6 to erase Kobayashi for the first out of the inning. Wakatsuki is now the runner at first, and now we have the top of the order coming up in Shuhei Fukuda. And just as I have predicted, it looks like it is going to be the end of the night for Wada as he is coming off the field. I don't think he is. He's with the trainer, actually, so maybe it's not the end of the night. Maybe they're going to go and have a look at him before they make a move here as he is going into the locker room. That's exactly what is happening. They're going to go and take a look to see if he's going to be able to continue or not. I would be shocked if he did or not. Let's see how that was. He had to come off the mound to field it. Maybe he pulled a muscle, or maybe it was a strain. Let's see as that worked there. He was able to field the ball through it. We saw no sign of issue or injury there. But whatever it was, the trainer has come out. And they are going into the tunnel to have a look at Wada. So we have a little pause in the play here. As I say, I don't understand this. You don't see that in Major League Baseball. I was at a game, I don't know, maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, and it looks like we are going to the bullpen. Wada's night is going to be done, as the manager Fujimoto has come out and has made that announcement. So I'll tell you the story, and then we'll take a little mini break here. I was at a Mariners game, and Cole Hamels was pitching for the Texas Rangers. And I forget who it was. It might have been Kyle Seager at the plate, and he hit a line drive back at the pitcher, hit Cole Hamels right in the side of the head. Ball ended up deflecting over to the shortstop, and they finished the play, and the trainer started to come out for the Rangers, and Cole Hamels is vehemently telling him to get lost, get off the mound. He's staying in the ball game. And he went on to continue to pitch. I think that was in about the second or the third inning, and he ended up going 6 strong. But, I was just sitting back there, and I was just like, wow, that was unbelievable. But we do have a pitching change, and we're going to come back here in a couple moments, everybody. We'll get you the specs when we return. They're going to a lefty, and I'm not sure who it is, but it looks like it could be Ozeki, who's already made a couple appearances in this series. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Tomohisa Ozeki who is coming on in relief. It's an interesting decision on my part. They take out Wada and they bring in another lefty with a lefty. I know, obviously, you've got Yuma and Mune coming to the plate, and then obviously you got Nakagawa, the righty, and then you've got Yoshida. So 2 of the next 3 hitters are left-handed. So they're moving right here to Ozeki straight away. Ozeki on the season was 7 wins and 6 losses. He had worked 101 and a third innings, allowed 88 hits, 28 walks, struck out 70, and had a 293 earned run average. So he is on in relief here. One thing we haven't had tonight is a onslaught of bots in our stream. We had bots the last couple of nights, so we're able to shoot them down a little bit. But Ozeki on in relief of Wada, as he will face the top of the order in Shuhei Fukuda. Fukuda is officially in the books at 0 for 2. He did reach his last time up on an error by the first baseman. So Fukuda is coming to the plate. He is 3 for 14 on the series. So left-hander against the left-hander, as Ozeki is ready to resume the action. Fukuda is got himself dug in. And waiting here on the offering from the lefty. The runner at first is Wakatsuki. There is 1 gone here in the 5th inning. And both of the starters are now out of the ball game. Not how I would have thought that this game would have played out. So here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball that just misses low for ball 1, and the count is 1-0 to Fukuda. Fukuda did have that marathon at bat the last half inning, and he was able to get himself on base on the error by the first baseman, Kira Nakamura. And then he ended up stealing second, but was stranded there in scoring position. So here comes the 1-0 pitch, as the lefty now throws over to first base, and getting back easily is the base runner. And that is Wakatsuki. Our friend CB Baseball Card Collector is in the house, and we welcome you. We got a lively game here tonight, as the Orix Buffaloes have a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. And here's the pitch from Ozeki. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count's now 2-0. These first 2 pitches to Fukuda, I would say they might want to keep the phone nearby, because Ozeki has not been close. So he hasn't been able to get the command of his pitch quite yet. 2 balls and no strikes to Shuhei Fukuda. The lefty leans in, he gets the sign from his catcher. He nods in agreement, and now he works into the set position. And here comes the 2-0 offering. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball. It just catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Should there be a 5th game in the series, it'll go again tomorrow night at the same time in the same place. It'll go 2 a.m. Pacific or 5 a.m. Eastern. And this is right now a commanding lead here in the series for the Buffaloes as they have themselves a 3-1 lead. This is game 4 of the series. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded softly to first. It is fielded neatly by the first baseman, who runs over and touches the bag. Fukuoka is standing around the plate saying that he was hit with the ball. He thinks it was a foul ball. He didn't make any effort to get down the line. He's trying to sell it as a foul ball. Terrible sell job. He's going to walk back to the dugout. It's going to go down as a ground out to 3. He didn't even make a move out of the batter's box. We're going to get a look at the replay again. The pitch was swung on, and let's see if he has a case. It was close, but I don't think it got his foot, but he should have been hopping around like a wild man. We're going to get a different angle on that one. And no, sir, it didn't hit his foot. So he is going to be erased for the 2nd out of the inning. And that is going to leave it all up to the third baseman, Yumamune. It did advance Wakatsuki over into scoring position. He's now at second base. But Fukuoka never even made a step out of the batter's box. So Mune to the plate. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He's got a ground out and a fly out to his name. And here's the pitch from Ozeki, and Mune squares to bunt. He tries to bunt it down the third base line, but it rolls foul, and the count is quickly 0-1. So trying to bunt his way on with 2 gone here. I have to say, I do like the way Yumamune plays the game. I like the way that he makes his plays. He's not a big fella either. He's a little diminutive in his size, but he really gets the most out of it. He's played some good defensive third base. He's pretty much good for a hit a game. Entering tonight, he was 3 for 12. He had a hit in every game of the series. So he is usually due for 1. He is 0 for 2 right here. Base hit here has got a good chance to score the runner from second base. But it is the catcher, Wakatsuki, who doesn't run particularly well. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. Shotgun shell tells us that Mune is 5'11". Yeah, that's probably fair. He looks taller than Yamaoka, who Yamaoka was on the mound. I'm not sure he was 5'7" with all that height underneath him. So 1 ball and 1 strike. If the Buffaloes can win this series, it'll bring a rematch of last year's Japan Series final between the Swallows and the Buffaloes. There's a ground ball to second. It is fielded by Mamori, who throws to first, and Nakamura has to lean to make the grab, and that is going to retire Mune on a ground out 4-3. Not the easiest of plays there by the first baseman to have to make that grab on the throw from the second baseman. Well, that is going to do it here in the 5th inning for the Buffaloes. There was no runs. There was a hit. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 5 complete innings. It is a 2-0 scoreline. We're going to take a little time out. We're going to put the music on some loop. So you guys are going to get some music going back and forth. We're going to be moving to the 6th inning as we do take our what I like to call the Japanese halftime, as we do have an extended stop here in between innings. So 2-0 is the score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. It is the Hawks and the Buffaloes when we return. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be moving to the top of the sixth inning when we return. And the storyline in this game is the first two pitchers have left the game or the starting pitchers for both teams have left the game due to injury. And it is now going to be a battle of the bullpens from here on out. So Yoshiwada left with that last half inning. He left the ball game with one out and a runner on first. They had to turn it over to Ozeki as he is walked off the mound after fielding that bunt, making a great play. That was the last play that he had made. And of course, the starting pitcher, Yamaoka, he was the bumper in a pinball game as there was a ball smashed back at him. It not only hit him in the shin, it also deflected off his calf. It hit him in the shin on the right side, the calf on the left side, pinballed off of him. He came back out to face one batter, and then it was Yuki Utagawa, who came into the ball game to take over for him in the fifth inning as the righty had finished off his night there. So that is where we stand as Yamaoka's day is finished. And now that is going to bring, as we said, the battle of the bullpens from here on out. So once again, everybody, we do appreciate everybody for listening in to us tonight and staying with us, as it is a beautiful day for baseball. Of course, we could say that every day is a great day for baseball. And they are playing at the Kyocera Dome in Osaka. We're going to take a quick peek at the Major League Baseball games. If you would have asked me today how some of this stuff has turned out, I probably would have got it all wrong. Cleveland Guardians won in 10 innings against the New York Yankees, 4-2. They've tied the series up as that game was rained out yesterday on Thursday Night Football. Took center stage. It was the Yankees and the Guardians on Thursday were supposed to go. That game was washed out. And the NFL probably did a fist pump because the Guardians and Commanders, which would have been an absolute snoozer, ended up getting full attention. That game was made up yesterday, and the Guardians knocked off the Yankees 4-2. The National League games that were slated for yesterday, the Phillies pummeled the Atlanta Braves 9-1. And the Phillies now have a commanding 2-1 lead in that series over the defending World Series champions. And last night, the San Diego Padres knocked off the Los Angeles Dodgers 2-1. I got a chance. Had a meeting and I saw the Trent Grisham homer to put them up 2-0, and then the Dodgers got one back from Max Muncy. But now the Padres are in the driver's seat in that series. So here comes the first pitch from Utagawa as we are back underway, and it's a fastball that misses inside to Takuya Kai for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Kai on the series 5 for 11. He is 0 for 1 tonight as he was called out on strikes back in the third inning. So Utagawa kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs for ball, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. They said that was the first playoff game played in San Diego in front of fans since, I believe, 2006. I couldn't believe that. It's been that long since they were playing in front of that. Obviously, the COVID year, there were no fans, or at least when they were playing in the game that they were in front of, as that fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 2-1. Just trying to remember, they made the playoffs. There were some teams that were playing in front. I think that was the World Series where they played in about 10,000 fans down in Texas. They were letting them into the stadium where it was the neutral site World Series. If I'm not mistaken, that was Tampa and the Dodgers. So here's the 2-0 pitch. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into the left field. If it stays fair, it could be a problem, but it's going to have room as the left fielder Nakagawa is going to make the grab, and that will put away Kai. Just got underneath it a little bit. At first, we thought maybe that ball was going to leave the yard. But no, that is going to be out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and it'll bring up Masaki Momori. Shotgun's Shell says they tried only to sell tickets to Padres fans. San Diego always has this issue. I remember when the San Diego Chargers used to play there, people used to lament the fact that they would get more Raiders fans than they would Charger fans, or more fans from other teams that would come. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. I know, being a Detroit Lion fan, and once upon having season tickets in Detroit during the Barry Sanders era, I can tell you that as far as I'm concerned, there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. The count is now 0-2. One of the things that personally bothered me, obviously, was going to the games and having more Chicago fans in the seats, or more Packer fans in the seats than Lion fans. But the problem is the team has been rebuilding since 1957 when they won an NFL championship. The problem is that there's not a huge fan base, and when your team is out of the running, as there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Memori for the second out of the inning, and that will bring up the left fielder Yukio Shudo. Anyways, basically what I was going to say was that you're watching the games and your team is out of the playoffs by the middle of October. Well, they don't care who they sell the tickets to. People are coming to the games to watch the football game. I think at the end of the day, that's what they want. But in San Diego, the San Diego Padre fans, they've got to get out and support their team. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Counts 0-1. But I think at the end of the day, the ownership wants bums in the seats, and that's what's going to take priority over everything. And there is a split finger pitch waved at and missed, and the count is now 0-2 to Shudo. So Utagawa way ahead of Shudo here. Since Utagawa has come into the ball game, he has retired all 5 of the hitters he has faced. And he's up 0-2 here on Shudo. This is pitch number 23 from the right-hander. As he kicks and delivers, it is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. It is blocked by Wakatsuki. He throws down to first. That's going to be a strikeout, 2-3 to retire Shudo for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it. There were no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 5.5. It is the Buffaloes 2 and the Hawks no score. Some great pitching there by Utagawa. I wonder if he's going to come on out for a third inning. I guess we're going to have to stick around and wait and find out. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you guys for being with us tonight. Would you like to support Last Drafts Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan, but we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Drafts Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving now to the bottom half of the 6th inning. It is going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat for the Orix Buffaloes. That means it's going to be Kai Nakagawa, Masataki Yoshida, and Yataro Sugimoto. And the Hawks have gone to yet another reliever as they have a right-hander into the ball game. So this is going to be the third pitcher used by Fukuoka so far in this one, and it is going to be the right-hander. It is going to be Iomi, who is in. This is Kaisuke Azumi coming in. The right-hander is making another appearance here. He had 30 during the regular season. He was 0-2. He'd worked 29 innings, allowing 24 hits, 25, walked 9, struck out 25. He posted an earned run average of 372. So Kaisuke Azumi on in relief. Pitcher number 3 used tonight by the Hawks. So, as we said, the battle of the bullpens is in full effect and taking place. And he is going to be facing the fellas who did the damage for the Hawks here tonight, or for the Buffaloes here tonight against the Hawks. As Kai Nakagawa singled and scored a run his last time up when he was brought home on the home run by Masataka Yoshida. The first pitch to Nakagawa was a fastball that missed upstairs for ball 1. It is 1-0, and here's the offering from Uzumi. It is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. I will say we're talking a little bit about the Major League Baseball action that has been going on, and One thing I will say is that Josh Hader kind of looks like his old self. And here comes the offering from the right-hander Izumi, and it is a fastball. Take it for a call. Actually, that's upstairs for a ball, and the count is 3-0. It looked like the umpire was going to go up with the right hand. And so that's the way it works. Alexander says the music is way too loud. We're going to have to, that's to wake you up a little bit, Alexander. That's the way she goes. 3 balls and no strikes. There's a fastball. Take it for a called strike. The count is now 3-1. We take the stock music from YouTube and we apply it. And sometimes we don't do anything with it. We just leave it as it is. And the sound and the depth of the sound is all over the map. So 3 balls and 1 strike. And here comes the 3-1 offering. It's a fastball that just misses upstairs. That's going to be ball 4. And Nakagawa is aboard with a leadoff walk here in the 6th inning. And that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Masataka Yoshida. Well, Yoshida is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a homer in 2 trips. He knocked in both of the runs. So he has continued his torrid hitting pace in the series. He is 6 for 13. He's got a couple of homers and 3 runs batted in. So he steps up to the dish here. Our friend John Cardona asked the question, regardless of who you bet on, how do you feel about the over on 3.5 live? Well, probably a lot better with Izumi on the mound as there is a conference going on. They're out there to talk about what is going to happen here defensively. I wonder how they're going to play this one out, as they do have the slugger Yoshida at the plate. I don't think they're going to bunt here with Yoshida at the dish. I would be shocked if they take the bat out of his hands. I don't know if Yoshida has bunted in the last few years. If he has, you have to ask why. He is an absolute hitting machine. He has won the Pacific League batting championship in years past. This year he finished second only to Go Matsumoto, as he had a .335 batting average. So here is the first offering here from Izumi, who holds at his chest. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball. Take it for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Yoshida. Izumi, I would say, from what I can see, he's more of a guy who would come over the top. He's got a little bit more of downward action, a little bit of tilt on his pitches, whereas some pitchers, they've got some cut or arm side run. This right-hander here is rather over the top-ish. Doesn't have a lot of cut or run on the ball. Natural movement, which would lend itself well for the hitters. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded to the right side. It is fielded by the second baseman, Momori. He knocks it down. He juggles it. He picks it up and throws to first. His only play is going to be to retire Yoshida. And that is going to advance Nakagawa into scoring position. It's a ground out 4-3. Nice play by Momori to stay with it. He had to range into the 4-hole. He was able to knock it down. And then as he fielded it, he picked it up with his bare hand and was able to throw and get Yoshida by a half a step. So 1 away, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Yataro Sugimoto. Well, for Sugimoto tonight, he is 0 for 2. He's flown to center and flown to right. He is 5 for 13 on the series with a homer and 4 RBIs. The big right-handed hitter is looking to provide some offense here for the Buffaloes. A base hit here more than likely is going to put them up ahead. And there's a first pitch, split finger pitch that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Our friend Shotgun Shell says we need some Still Dre instrumental between innings. Maybe so. We're kind of recycling some, not recycling, but we're giving you some of the same tunes and stuff that we have. We'll always try to update from time to time. But one of the things we were talking about a month ago is we got denied, as there's a breaking ball that misses outside. Count is 2-0. We got denied monetization from YouTube because we were using our good friends Steve Rademacher and Matt Hollis. We were using their infomercials. I call them infomercials because they would be supporting their channels. And that's a no-no on YouTube, apparently. If you want to get monetized, you can't promote other people's channels. And that's something that I don't understand. Because don't you want people staying on the platform? But yet you've got an opportunity to, I can promote our eBay page. And that takes people off the YouTube platform, but that's okay. So I don't get that. But that is not my rules and decisions. That is what YouTube is. So that's where we sit with that. So here's the 2-0 pitch. It's a fastball that's literally in the other batter's box. And that is going to be a ball to Sugimoto. They might as well just hold the fourth finger up and put him on and not waste the pitch. They have absolutely no interest in pitching to him. It might as well be a pitch out here. Let's see how they do this. It's 3 balls and no strikes here. And Takuya Kai is literally set up with 1 foot behind the plate and the other in the left-handed batter's box. That's a fastball that's going to be delivered for ball 4. That's going to put runners at first and second. The second walk allowed in the inning by the right-hander Izumi. That's going to bring the pitching coach out to the hill. It is going to be Ryo Adachi, the second baseman, who is slated to come to bat to face the young right-hander. As the manager is out on the bump, talking to his youngster. Just a couple other notes. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to bookmark the page. And if you're so inclined, hit the notification bell so it'll let you know when we go live. I did notice tonight that I had the game set up for 2 p.m. in the afternoon, not 2 a.m. So there might not have been any notification bells going out on this one, as we were basically 12 hours ahead of time. But that is all good, though. We are going to be doing that other one possibly tomorrow night if we are going to have ourselves another game in this series. So Ryo Adachi steps to the plate. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He is softly lined out to the second baseman and flown out to center field. He bats here with 1 gone and runners at first and second in the 6th. And the first pitch is a split finger pitch that's down in the dirt for ball 1. A nice block there by Takuya Kai. I have to say, I really enjoy watching Kai catch. He has been very, very fun. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, I was wondering what happened to them. I think when we went live tonight, you got the notification. I just don't think it was usually about 30 minutes beforehand is when the notification goes out when we're going live. So here comes the pitch. It is a split finger pitch, waved at and missed, and the count is 1-1. So nobody really got the heads up on any of that stuff. John Cardona says he may have already asked this, but how do you feel about the Dodgers? Padres got to win that next game to finish the series. If they go back to LA, it's not going to be pretty. I think the Dodgers will win it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I would say definitely it is going to be the Padres have to win that next game. It is theirs to win. And if they do, obviously they win the series. The split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is 1-2. The Padres are playing good baseball right now. And obviously Trent Grisham is been having a nice little playoff run here against the Mets and now continuing it on against the Dodgers. And that is a big help for them, especially after the season he had when he hit about $180. I think it was during the year. So any offense from him is a added bonus. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here comes the offering now from Izumi as he holds set and delivers. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner. The count is 2-2. Our friend Ice Hockey says this batter is struggling right now, and I would agree with you because he's been waving at pitches that have been in the dirt area, as the split finger pitch from Izumi has him tied up a little bit. He looks confused, I think would be the way I would describe it. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Adachi. He waggles the bat, waiting on the offering from Izumi. It's a split finger pitch. It's grounded back to the pitcher. It is juggled by Izumi. He fields it and throws to first. That is going to retire Adachi on a ground out 1-3. I think if he fields it cleanly, he's got a shot at a double play. But because he bobbled the ball, that is going to retire Adachi for out number 2. It advances the runner Nakagawa over to third. Sugimoto is now the runner at second, and that's going to bring up the first baseman Yuma Tongu. Well, Tongu is officially 0 for 1. He also has a walk tonight. So the manager, Fujimoto, is just sitting there with his arms crossed, watching this all unfold from the Fukuoka dugout. I haven't looked at the roster, or at least the roster for the Buffaloes, looking at their bench. But Joe McCarthy is nowhere to be seen. Doesn't look like on the game roster. Not too many import players on the offensive side. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is the ball is a 1 strike. I would expect possibly tonight on the back end. We have seen Jacob Waguspak in the series, but we haven't seen Jesse Biddle. So I'd be curious to see if we're going to see those as the back end. They're going to try to shut this one off. You've got the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. I would expect those two guys, and maybe even then Hirano, the closer, to come in and finish it off. So that might be the back 3 that we might see. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. I know sometimes they've gone to Honda, and we've seen him in the series. We've also seen Abby as well, but I would think Waguspak, Biddle, and close it off. I know they moved Biddle into the starting rotation. They had Waguspak in the rotation early in the year, and Biddle was coming out of the pen, and then they did a flip-flop, the 2 American players. We've also seen Yamazaki in relief, but I think I don't know who they've got officially slated to go for Game 5. I haven't looked to see if that had been posted. If there is a Game 5, there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is now 1-2 to Tongu. There's a big batter right here. A base hit could score a couple of runs. If they can retire the hitter here, it'll keep them in check, and then they've got 3 more innings in which to try to get themselves back into this ball game. Do the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Our friend John Cardona asked earlier in the last inning, how do you feel about the 3.5 on the over-under? As I said, when this inning started, I feel a lot better with Izumi on the mound that could be an over, as he walked 2 batters in this inning. So runners are at second and third. It's a 1-2 pitch coming up here to Tongu, and there's 2 gone here. Here's the 20th pitch of the inning. It is a breaking ball delivered. It is lifted into center field. Racing back on it is the center fielder, who makes a great running catch over the shoulder. What a fantastic play by the center fielder, Taisi Makihara. Holy smokes. He went a long way to get it as he slides onto the warning track to make the 3rd out of the inning. That is a game saver right there for the Hawks. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the 6th inning. There was no runs in the inning. There were no hits, no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 6 complete innings. We're getting into the deep water in Osaka. Your score is the Buffaloes 2 and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. Fantastic play. Unbelievable. We'll be right back after this. And we'll give the heads up to our friend Alexander. Turn your volume down. I don't know what you're going to get. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the seventh inning, and the defensive star of the last half inning was Taisi Makihara, and he is going to be coming up to lead it off here in the inning. We are going to get a pitching change as the Orix Buffaloes are going to their bullpen yet again. It is going to be the right-hander Yamazaki coming in, as he is coming in to take over. So this is Sachiro Yamazaki. We've already seen him in the series. He is a second-year player. The 24-year-old appeared in 15 ball games for the Buffaloes this year. He was 0-2. He did have a save. He worked 36 innings, allowed 30 hits, walked 10, struck out 29, and he had an ERA of 3.00. So Sachiro Yamazaki on in relief here for the Buffaloes in their inning. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Makihara. So if you have Instagram and you follow the Pacific League or maybe even the Hawks, I'm sure that last play in that last half inning is going to be all over Instagram by tomorrow. A phenomenal defensive play by the center fielder who swings through a fastball, and the count is now 0-2 to Taisi Makihara. He doesn't make that play. That's 2 runs on the board, and this game probably is not just all but over, but completely over, as that is the way it is going to work. So he keeps them in check, and now they have to find a way to claw their way back into this one. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul over on the third base side, and the count remains at 0-2. Makihara, another one of the Hawks players struggling in the series. He is 3 for 14. As the top of the order here again tonight, going into this at bat, are a 1 for 8. So not getting the job done, setting the table for the big dogs who come to eat. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as that pitch misses upstairs to Makihara, and it's 1-2. So Sachiro Yamazaki on in relief here, the third pitcher used by the Buffaloes. And the right-hander kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses up and in, and the count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes. I got to say, Yamazaki can bring it up there. He's 96 miles an hour for the young right-hander. They can roll him out. Cardona says the Hawks need base runners, and that is absolutely true. They got to find a way to get on base, and they got to chip away one at a time here, as that fastball was a split finger that hung up in the zone and was fouled away by Makihara. They got to get some more balls in play here as well. And I say that because that's where the defense gets to be a little bit exciting. The Buffaloes have not made an error tonight. They've taken care of the baseball. There's a fastball at 99 miles an hour that blows away Makihara for the first out of the inning. Yamazaki reared back and let her go, and they're able to retire the first batter that he faces here in the inning. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. So Yanagita is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips to the plate. He is 4 for 12 in this series. And as we mentioned, he had that big series against the Saitama Cebu Lions where he had a 3-run shot and a grand slam. He single-handedly carried the Hawks to victory in those 2 games. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Our friend the living room, who was in here earlier, wanted to know who we thought was going to win, as we said in this game. I still think the Hawks can pull this out. I said Hawks before the ball game as the fastball misses down and in. In the event that the Buffaloes do close it out, we mentioned that the Japan series does not begin until a week from today. So a full week off between this series and the Japan series. It's going to start on the 22nd of October. There's the fastball taken for a call and strike. And the count is now 2-1. In some ways, it might be more advantageous for these 2 teams to keep playing. If the Hawks win tonight, they get an extra game. The days off being tonight and tomorrow, it'll be a little longer layover for the Swallows. There's a fastball that misses outside. It's 3-1. I remember a number of years ago, I think it was 2006, when the Detroit Tigers played the San Francisco Giants in the World Series. And the Tigers had won the American League with a 4-game sweep. I forget who they knocked out. And then the Giants were in a battle and had to keep on playing. And the next thing you know is the Tigers had about a week off or 8 days in between that, and the Giants went out and boat raced them and beat them in 4 straight games, as that fastball was fouled away by Yanagita to make the count full at 3-2. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is going to remain at 3-2 to Yanagita. Shotgun Shell says $10 for the Hawks to win 60. That's not a bad return. They've got the firepower in their lineup where they could do it. And the problem is the Buffaloes are going to be tough to beat here now with the back end. The necklace on Yamazaki is sparkling here under the lights. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs. And that is going to put Yanagita aboard. And that's going to bring Alfredo Despaigne to the plate. Well, that right there is one of those type of things. You've got Despaigne coming to the plate, power hitter. With one stroke of the bat, this game could be tied, as the young right-hander has now brought the tying run to the plate. A 2-run lead is always a little bit nervous or nerve-wracking for coaches. You get a little bit more. The 3-4-run leads get a little bit more of a cushion. One swing of the bat here, and we've got ourselves a whole different looking ball game. So Despaigne tonight is 0 for 2. He has popped to second, and he has flown out to center field. He is 3 for 15 on the series, as he waits here on the offering from the right-hander who delivers a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1. 3 for 23 in the playoffs for the right-handed designated hitter who hails from Cuba. As the right-hander looks in and gets the sign from his catcher Wakatsuki, he works to the set position. And here comes the 0-1 to Despaigne. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. Despaigne was looking for something else. It seemed to have locked him up there. And really, that was a pretty good pitch. That was a hanger. I think that Despaigne might have wanted that one back. Floated up into the zone, and it was one that he could have probably delivered into the seats. So here comes the 0-2 pitch as Yamazaki delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. That was 100 miles an hour on that last pitch. It's the first one tonight that we've seen from the young right-hander. So no balls and 2 strikes. It remains to Despaigne, as Yamazaki is outright dealing here. As he gets the sign from his catcher Wakatsuki, he works to the set position. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball that misses way upstairs, and the count is 1-2. See, this is the type of stuff I was talking about before. It's a fastball breaking ball league. You don't see a lot of changeups. With this power arm right there, if you could have a changeup delivered to the right-handed hitting Despaigne, pull the string, you might be able to get him way out in front and put him away. Here comes the 1-2 offering. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left center field, and moving back on the warning track and looking up, and this one is gone. A home run, a 2-run shot by Despaigne, and we are all tied up here in the top of the 7th inning, just like that, on one swing of the bat. A walk and a bomb, and we are right back to where we were when the game started at 0-0, all tied up. You could see it coming. You could see it coming. You could see it coming. As soon as the walk to Yanagita took place, you had that feeling that Despaigne was going to get an opportunity here, and sure enough, he deposits that one into the left center field seats to tie the ball game. A clutch piece of hitting. And so there we go. Is the Shotgun Shell was telling you $10 to get 60. I thought that was value for your money. So now we are all tied up at 2s. It's going to bring the first baseman Akira Nakamura to the plate. So Nakamura is 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown to center field both of his times up, as there is still one gone here in the 7th inning. The young right-hander served up the gopher ball that Despaigne has delivered on. Nice timely hitting there by Despaigne. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Nakamura. Nakamura 2 for 7 on the series. Shotgun Shell says, you called it one swing of the bat. There's a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. Yeah, you just could sniff it out. You could walk to Yanagita, had it written all over it. And then Despania deposits it into the seats. So there was a veteran at bat there from the right-handed hitting Cuban. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they say Nakamura didn't go, and the count goes to 1-2. And at this point now, I would also say that I can also sense that we might see some extra innings. I'm curious to see how this one plays out between now and the end. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-2 to Nakamura. I hope it doesn't go 16 innings, but I don't think these ones do. I think that these are only, if I'm not mistaken, these ones will end at 12. So that would favor the Buffaloes as well. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and McNamara is gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 away. I haven't looked at the rules of the Climax series, but I definitely know the Japan series games will end after 12 innings until I think the 7th game. And then the 7th game, all bets are off, anything from there and on. So 2 gone. It brings Kenta Imamiya to the plate. Imamiya is 0 for 2 tonight. He has lined out to the right fielder and struck out in his 2 trips to the plate. And here's the first offering from Yamazaki. It is a breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. I have to say, though, I really do like Yamazaki, the way that he moves. He's very fluid in his delivery. He's got all arms and legs when he comes flying at you. I don't know how tall they list him, but in feet and inches, but I would say he's probably got to be about 6'4", 6'3", or 4. As that fastball is swung on and fouled away on the first base side, and the count is 1-1 to Imamiya. They do list Yamazaki at 190 centimeters, so maybe he's only 6'2". But he looks like he's bigger than that. Maybe after watching the right-hander Yamaoka on the mound, he looks like a giant next to him. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2 to Imamiya. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes in their half of the 7th inning. They will look to seek to try to get the runs back. They have given up to the Hawks here in their half of the inning. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as Yamazaki holds set. Now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. It is fielded neatly by Kitaro Kobayashi, who throws to first. And that's going to retire his counterpart Imamiya on a ground out 6-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, they got 2 runs in the inning on the big blow by Alfredo Despania. 2 runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. And we're all locked up at 2s. There is going to be a pitching change as Fujimoto has come out. We'll get that for you when we return in just a few minutes. Appreciate you guys for being with us. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back after this. Our friend Ice Hockey 77 says it's the 7th inning stretch. It's time to go to Family Mart and buy some Suntory highballs. I prefer Lawson's myself, and I'd rather have an egg sandwich if I possibly could. But you got to do what you got to do here to stay in the ball game, and so that is the good stuff. Nothing like getting sandwiches in Japan where they cut the crust off. You got to love that. And I do like those egg sandwiches from Lawson's. I'm not a huge egg salad sandwich fan here, but I have to say the smooth stuff there does the trick. So if you're ever in Japan, make sure you get into one of the Lawson's and grab yourself an egg sandwich or maybe even an egg and ham. Those are all pretty good as well. Well, we've got a pitching change here for the Hawks as they are going to their bullpen. And it is going to be a right-hander, and it is going to be Matsumoto, who is coming on in relief. So this is Yuki Matsumoto. He is worked 44 ball games on the regular season. He was a 5-1 on the year. Worked 50 and 2/3 innings, allowing 40 hits. Walked 14 and struck out 60, and he had a 2.66 ERA. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that comes inside and almost hits Kobayashi. That is going to be ball one, so 1 ball and no strikes. The way that it moved in there, I thought it might have hit it because it handcuffed the catcher Takuya Kai. Kobayashi officially 1 for 1 tonight. He also had a sacrifice bunt, so a single and a bunt for the right-handed hitting shortstop. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled away down the right field line, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So Matsumoto on in relief. He is 26 years old, was the first pick in the 2014 draft. This was the most work this year at the NPB level that he's had in his career. Every year over the last couple of years, he has continued to increase his workload. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's belted into deep center field. Moving back on it is the center fielder, Makihara, who makes the catch, and that's going to retire Kobayashi for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to bring up the catcher Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, for Wakatsuki tonight, he is officially 0 for 2. He's flown to center and bounced into a fielder's choice. He bats from the right side against the right-handed throwing Matsumoto. As I said before, it'll be interesting to see how these two teams will manage themselves here, or at least manage the pitching from here to the end. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that is waved at and missed, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Wakatsuki. Wakatsuki 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 8 on the series. As we mentioned, it was Tori Fushimi who got the start in the second game of the series. So here comes the 0-1 offering as Matsumoto delivers a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Should this game go to a 5th game, as we mentioned before, we will be back on the air again with you tomorrow night, late night. So hopefully you come on in, bring your coffee, your tea, or in the case of Ice Hockey 77, your highballs. As there's the fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-2, and you can join us for more action. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. I have to say, if the Hawks win this game tonight, how uncomfortable would you feel if you were a fan of the Buffaloes? I know that they're still in the driver's seat, and they got 2 more games to have to win 1, but boy, if the Hawks get on a bit of a roll here, it could be an exciting finish. There's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul down the third base line, and the count remains at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. It'll be Shuhei Fukuda, who is waiting his turn on deck. That means it'll be the top of the order. Certainly, Matsumoto would like to keep the bottom part off here before he has to start getting into the top part of the batting order. So no balls and 2 strikes it is to Wakatsuki. As the right-hander holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Orix catcher. The Hawks, though, are a veteran club, but they have had some mix of some of their youth in the series here. I like the fact that they are able to bring some of their players along. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Wakatsuki for the second out of the inning. And as I say, the Hawks are in a transition. Some of their players are in the twilight, and they had won a series of 4 championships in a row. So they know how to win, and they have the experience that is in this club with it. When you think of some of their players, and specifically Yuki Yanagita, the right fielder, some of the pitchers on the staff, Kodai Senga, all a part of some of those victories. So they have guys in the clubhouse who can settle things down and be able to work with the younger players to transition them. So they've got the experience that being in this deficit in the series is not going to hurt them. And the first pitch is a fastball inside to Fukuda for ball 1. They've been there, they've done it. They know how to win. Fukuda is 0 for 3 tonight. He is 3 for 15 on the series. As we said, the top of the order has been the challenge. 1 for 8 and a walk from the top 3 hitters in the Buffaloes lineup. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It is the right-hander Yamazaki who is still throwing, and we anticipate we're going to see him for a second inning of work, which is a bit of an eyebrow raiser. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded softly to second, fielded neatly by the second baseman Mamori, who throws to first, and that is going to retire Fukuda on a ground out 4-3 for the third out of the inning. And the Buffaloes go quietly in their half of the 7th. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 7 complete in Osaka. It is the Buffaloes 2, the Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the 8th inning when we return. And maybe Ice Hockey 77 will be back and let us know if the high balls were on sale or not. Hold tight, guys. We'll be back here in a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 8th inning, and it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat for the Hawks. That means Akira Kawase, Takuya Kai, and Masaki Mamori. The 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat for the Hawks here in their half of the 8th inning. And it is Sachiro Yamazaki who is still on the mound as he is coming back out for his second inning of work. He was the one who served up the 2-run gopher ball to Alfredo Despania in the last half inning. And that is where we stay here. So the right-hander ready to go to work again as he holds set and kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that catches the outside corner to Kawase. The count is 0-1. The third baseman for the Hawks is 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded to first and a line to the second baseman. His 2 trips to the plate. And here comes the 0-1 offering. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kawase. Right-hander Yamazaki leans in. He gets his sign from his catcher Wakatsuki as he holds set and kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded right back to the pitcher. It is fielded. He throws to first as Yamazaki. It's going to go down as a ground out 1-3. As Kawase is going to be retired for out number 1, and that'll bring up the catcher, Takuya Kai. Well, Kai tonight is 0 for 2, but he's now 5 for 12 on the series. I've talked about this before, and I'll mention it again. I have a I did a study a couple of years ago, or a few years ago. I say I did it. I was involved in it, and we were doing it on youth baseball, and we were watching little league games, and we were trying to figure out how much the pitcher was involved in the action. And we've also applied it into the older levels of play, and it seems to hold true as well there as well. The first pitch is a fastball that swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. How important is it for your pitchers to field their position? It's extremely, extremely important. And so in a ball game where you have 27 outs, you can always say that you can assume that 9 are going to come via the strikeout. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2 to Kai. So that leaves you 18 other outs to have to get. And in this particular game tonight, if you look at the strikeouts, we are already at 9 strikeouts in the ball game with a couple of innings left to play in a 9-inning game. So they were already on their pace. So that means 18 outs have to come in different ways. As here comes the 0-2 offering to Kai. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-2. But you look at how many times tonight that the pitcher has been involved in the other outs. And so far for this one, it has been 3 times that the pitcher has had some sort of involvement in the out, not including the strikeout, of course. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. They appeal to the first base umpire. They say Kai didn't go, and that's going to run the count to 2-2. So when you think about it, we've had so far in this ball game, there's been 22 outs, 9 have come via the strikeout. That means 13 outs. So 3 of the 13 outs have involved the pitcher. And so that is right now maybe a little bit on the low side, but generally speaking, it's about 25% where the pitcher has to make a play or he has to do something. There's a breaking ball that just misses upstairs. It's going to run the count to 3-2. I'm not sure Yamazaki liked the call from the home plate umpire. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Takuya Kai. So if your pitchers can take care of their responsibilities and field their position, you get yourself some cheap outs. It's going to help your team all the way moving forward. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. As the pitch is delivered, it's a fastball swung on and fouled straight back. And the count is going to remain at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Ice Hockey says he missed the entire half inning. And not only that, we wanted to know if your eyeballs were on sale. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander works to the set position. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a split-figure pitch swung on, and it's lifted up foul over on the first base side. Racing over is the first baseman Tagu, but he's just going to watch that sail into the seats. And that is going to keep the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kai. I have to say that this particular ball game here tonight, I feel pretty fresh. It was, I think, 2 nights ago that I was just battling to have to stay awake, as it was one of those ones just trying to make sure that we were able to give you a decent call. But tonight felt pretty good. All things considered, 4:30 in the morning Pacific is coming up on us. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. And it is a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Kai is down on strikes for the second out. That is going to retire him, and it'll bring up the top of the order in Masaki Mamori. Our friend Ice Hockey 77 says not on sale, but the yen is so cheap it's a bargain no matter what. It is really right now. I stocked up on some yen a little bit ago, and I probably wish I would have held out a bit. I bought $1,000 worth of yen because my intention is to get back to Japan here in the next bit, whether it's over the December season or whether it's going to be in late August. So here's the pitch to Mamori. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. For Masaki Mamori, he is 0 for 3. He struck out twice tonight, once swinging, once looking, and he's grounded back to the pitcher. So 2 for 14 on the series for the Fukuoka second baseman. So the right-hander holds to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. When I checked today, I believe it was 1 Canadian dollar gets you 107 yen. So with that in mind, I think the US dollar probably is going to get you in the neighborhood of probably 140 yen. There's a fastball swung on, and guess what? It's grounded back to the pitcher. Fielded by Yamazaki. He fields it. He throws to first. And Mamori is gone on a ground out 1-3, and that is going to do it here in the 8th inning for Fukuoka. They had no runs in the inning. There were no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. They go quietly. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Buffaloes are coming to bat, and we're all locked up at 2s. Stick around, everybody. It's getting to be an exciting finish in Osaka. We got a 2-2 ball game on our hand, and we'll return after this. Two, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll be back after these tunes with the call in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat here for the Buffaloes in their half of the 8th inning. That means it's going to be Yumamune, Kai Nakagawa, and Masataka Yoshida. And it looks like we have another pitcher on the mound. It is going to be Fuji, and we were talking with my friend in the living room earlier tonight, and he was asking about who I thought would be available, and I certainly wouldn't have picked that Fuji would be on the docket tonight. He has appeared in back-to-back ball games in this series, and now he is going to be coming out for his 3rd day of work. That is always a bit of a concern when you watch the pitchers when they come out for 3 days in a row. Are they going to be as sharp? Usually a couple of days, and you give them a rest, and they come back out, and they're as good as new. But this is going to be a test for him here in the 8th inning. And the first pitch delivered to Yumamune is a fastball swung on. It is belted into deep right field. Moving back on it and making the catch just in front of the warning track is Yuki Yanagita. And with one pitch, there is one away. But boy, did Mune take that one for a ride. And he is retired for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the left fielder, Kai Nakagawa. So Fuji on in relief here. He is the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Hawks. And it may come to a point where it's going to be a battle of attrition. As the pitchers, I would like to see how they manage the relievers here. There's a fastball that misses outside to Nakagawa for ball 1. The count's 1-0. Our friend Ice Hockey, who is in the stream here, is obviously in Japan. And my question to him is, where in Japan are you living or staying right now? As there's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. And I don't know if there's anybody else in the stream that is there. We have a regular who usually was in with us last year. It was Ben Roberts. He was living near Yokohama. There's a split finger pitch swung on it. It's popped up into shallow left field. Moving in on it is Shudo, and he makes the grab. And Nakagawa is out for the 2nd out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the designated hitter, Masataka Yoshida. Well, for Yoshida, he is 1 for 3 tonight, and he has delivered the big blow. It was a 2-run homer back in the 4th inning that knocked home Nakagawa, and that jumped the Buffaloes out to a 2-0 lead. But it was the home run, the 2-run variety by Alfredo Despania in the 7th inning that is responded for the Hawks, and we are all locked at 2s. So Yoshida stepping to the plate, batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Fuji. And now the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Yoshida, as we mentioned before, he finished second in hitting in the Pacific League. Only Go Matsumoto of the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters had a better batting average than he did, but he was able by the end of the year to pull it up into the mid 330s. As there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. Yataro Sugimoto will wait his turn on deck, as that is the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the order for the Buffaloes here tonight. They're coming to bat in the 8th. So the right-handed pitching Fuji holds at the chest, and now he delivers. And it is a fastball that misses outside. It's now 3-0. Our friend Ice Hockey says he's in Ueno, Tokyo. He got here this week, was supposed to go to the Swallows game tonight, but they won last night, so maybe he can make it for a Japan series game. Ueno is not that far. I was in, I stayed my 2 times in Asakusa, so I've been to Ueno Station. There's a fastball that misses way outside, and the count is ball 4, and that is going to be a 1-out walk to Yoshida. And I'll bring up the right fielder, Yataro Sugimoto. So Sugimoto is 0 for 2 on the evening. He has flown to center and flown to right, and he's also walked. Ueno, the station there, there's some good, I say, shopping nearby, which is kind of cool. Obviously, the Ueno Zoo is not that far away from the train station. Well, it was one of my goals when I went the last time. I wanted to see the pandas, and I'd never seen pandas live before. And I got there early in the morning, and I was at a 45-minute wait to get through, and they moved the people through pretty quickly at the zoo. And then when I left, it was like an hour and a half wait. Or sorry, it was like a 90-minute wait. Just kept being later and later through the day. Here's the first pitch to Sugimoto. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So Sugimoto going to get himself into a good hitting count here. Ueno Station is kind of a heartbeat. It is the one where you can you can get the train in from the Narita Airport. Takes you right into Ueno Station. So here comes the 1-0 offering to the right-handed hitting Sugimoto. It's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Our friend Tim says he was sorry to hear that, obviously, because you hope you make it to a game. Dream vacation his, but for pro wrestling. He says he wants to go to the Wrestle Kingdom at the Tokyo Dome. Well, where I was staying in Asakusa on the other side of the Samita River, or I think it was Samita River, is that what they refer to it as there's a split finger pitch that misses outside, is the Grand Hall for sumo wrestling. And literally one of the last days of my trip, I should actually make a little in-between inning video of it. I saw the sumos were out, and they were in their garb, and they were walking about in Asakusa. And I was going for a bite to eat, and I saw them crossing the street, and it was kind of funny. It was kind of neat. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is now 2-2. And at the rate I've been eating lately, I think I might be maybe up for being a sumo myself these days. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sugimoto as he bats here with 2 out and a runner at first. We're here in the bottom half of the 8th inning as the Buffaloes are locked in a 2-2 tie here with the Hawks. John Cardona says he's not watching it, but the pitcher seems like a liability. This is the 3rd day they've used him in a row. And as I said, I have my concerns when you start using pitchers 3 days in a row. It's a little bit of overuse. There's a split finger pitch that misses down and in, and the count is 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Ice Hockey says he went to the zoo today. It was really crowded. They were having a salsa street festival in the park. I have to say, at Ueno there, before I went into the zoo, there's I think an art gallery down at the other end, and there's a Starbucks that's not that far away, and it had to be the longest line I've ever seen at a Starbucks in the world. And that particular day, I needed a Starbucks to give me a jolt. And there's a split finger pitch that misses down. It's going to be ball 4. So back-to-back walks issued by the reliever Fuji's put runners at first and second with 2 gone. And it's going to bring up the second baseman Ryo Adachi, and it's going to bring a conference to the mound as they have a flock of hawks up at the top. Our friend Tim says that it would be kind of cool to go to that part. It wasn't the sumo season. We got Tin Win is he wants me to stop telling the stories. Well, we got nothing to talk about right now, as we do have the pitcher on the mound. So Tin doesn't maybe necessarily like to hear all the other stuff that's going on. But we do have a break in the action, so it's a little better than the dead air. And you'll just have to get used to it, because that's the way it works on this channel. So back-to-back walks from the pitcher. Fuji's got runners at first and second with 2 gone. It's going to bring up the second baseman Adachi, as he is hitting here. Oh, our friend says he's betting 10K on this game. Oh, that's great. Well, if you win the bet, then maybe by putting that out there like that, the next round is on our friend Tin Win. He says, I send you 300 Bitcoin if I win. I don't do Bitcoin, but thanks for the offer. We appreciate that. So here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside, and it is 1 ball and no strikes to Ryo Adachi. So 1 ball and no strikes. The pitcher Fuji is, as we said, here for 3 days. Back. He's pitched in all 3 of these games, and he is not as sharp as he was the other night. So 1 ball and no strikes it is to Adachi. There's 2 gone here in the 8th inning. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses outside. It's ball 2. Well, you better have your phone to the bullpen, because the Buffaloes here, as Adachi's got himself in a good hitting count, with runners at first and second with 2 gone and 2 balls and no strikes. Our friend John Cardona says that he figures that he shouldn't be out there. I think there'll be a lot of hooks coming out. So as I said at the top of the stream, I felt that it was going to be the Hawks that would pull this one out. But the way it's looking right now, I think that needle is now pointing to the Buffaloes. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 2-1. Our friend Mason is in the house here. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in for late night or early morning baseball. It is a 2-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 8th, with runners at first and second. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Ryo Adachi. The pitcher Fuji here is working at a slow pace. So not only do we have time to tell stories between pitches, we probably could get a sandwich and have a drink. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. It is fielded by Yanagita. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it's going to be there, but they're going to hold the runner at third base to load the bases as Yoshida, they put the brakes on for him as he returns back to third. A single for Adachi to load the bases, and that is going to bring up the first baseman Yuma Tongu. So he goes the other way through the 4-hole, does Adachi. Yanagita was playing shallow, and we saw him make a couple plays early in this series to throw runners out at the plate, and they weren't going to test his arm. So the bases are now loaded, and that brings Yuma Tongu to the plate. Our friend Ice Hockey says he can't believe they held him. Well, if you've ever seen the runner Masataka Yoshida run, you'll understand why. It was probably the right decision, and the arm of Yanagita in right field definitely plays. As now the pitching coach has gone to the mound to talk to his right-hander. So Yuma Tongu It looks like they're going to pull him back. We may have ourselves a pinch hitter here. So the Buffaloes are going to the bench. We'll see what the Buffaloes are going to bring. This is going to be Nishino, who got the start at second base the last couple of nights. He is going to come in to pinch hit here. So the bases are full of Buffaloes. It is Yoshida at third, Sugimoto at second, and Adachi at first. There's 2 gone here in the 8th inning. And Yuma Tongu's day is done, as it will be Nishino coming to the plate. So as I scramble to look at my game sheets from yesterday, Nishino is 1 for 5 on the series. He had a double in last night's game. He has had no homers and a couple of RBIs, so he has been clutch. So he is coming to bat here to face the right-handed throwing Fuji. So Masahiro Nishino. So clutch situation, bases are full of Buffaloes. Yeah, Tim says shallow right field, not testing that one. Yeah, it was, they had to be able to throw the runner out at the plate. So they had the outfield in shallow a little bit. Here's the first pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted down the left field line and racing into the corner, but it's going to slice foul just out of the reach of Yukio Shudo. Shudo was racing back to have to get it, and the ball ended up fouling. There's not a lot of real estate in foul territory down that left field line. Once you get past the temporary seating, there might only be about 3 or 4 feet. Boy, oh boy, if that ball was just a little bit straightened out, if it was maybe 5 feet to the right, there would have been a good chance not only to score 1 run, but to clear the entire bases. So no balls and 1 strike. John Cardona is asking the question, why is he out there? It's the question I asked when he came into the ball game to start the 8th inning. Kind of like the way that John Madden overused Aroldis Chapman a few years ago, I thought, in the World Series. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a split finger pitch that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. Fuji just doesn't have it tonight, but yet he is still out there. And as our friend John Cardona says, it is their entire season may rest on this at bat. You're absolutely correct. Now, the game is hanging in the balance with the bases loaded and 2 gone here in the 8th inning. The crowd is into it now in Osaka. They are cheering their home side on. And here comes the pitch. It is a split finger pitch swung on. It is lifted into left field. Moving over underneath it is Shudo. He's there. He makes the catch. And that is going to do it. They escape the jam, do the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. There was no runs in, the Hawks escaped the jam. There was no runs in the inning. There was 1 hit, no errors, and 3 runners left aboard. We are now through 8 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2 and the Orix Buffaloes 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action here in just a few. Appreciate you guys for being here. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We do have a pitching change as the Buffaloes are going to their bullpen. It is going to be Shota Abbey coming out to come on in relief. The right-hander is just completed his second year with the Buffaloes, and it is going to be him here at coming in relief. He's 1-0 on the season. He had 3 saves. He worked 44 innings. He had allowed 22 hits. He walked 10 and struck out 42, and he had an ERA of 0.61. So Abbey on in relief here is the 30-year-old right-hander. Now, when I look at this, we've got ourselves the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Hawks. Yukio Shudo, Taisi Makihara, and Yuki Yanagita to face him here. And the first pitch is a split-finger pitch, misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. The Hawks here have the 2, 3, and 4, the top part of the batting order. And as we said before, they've got to find a way to get somebody on here. And then they can scratch and claw their way in. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-1. The top of the stream, I felt that the Hawks would be the team that would come out on top. And of course, with the starting pitchers both getting knocked out because of injuries early in the ball game in the 4th inning, or through 4 innings, it's changed the dynamic a little bit about this game. But I think if the Hawks can do something here, this is going to change the needle here a little bit. And there's a fastball swung on it. It is lined into left field. And it is a nice catch in foul territory by Nakagawa as he runs into the temporary seating wall. That is going to retire Shudo on a fly ball to left field. The ball was slicing down the line. And that is going to take care of him for out number 1, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Taisi Makihara. A really gutsy play there by Nakagawa as he ran face first into the wall. He got a piece of the padding, that was for sure. So that's going to bring Makihara to the plate. He was 1 for 3 tonight. He is 3 for 15 on the series. And here comes the first offering from the righty, who drops in a breaking ball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Makihara. Makihara had a web gem earlier in the game with 2 Buffaloes on in scoring position. He had to go into the right center field gap and made an over-the-shoulder diving catch to end the inning. As there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. It was an absolutely fantastic play. So no balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander holds set, even though he pitches from the stretch with nobody on, he kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on and is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. It's going to be a base hit. It is going to be a single for Makihara, as he is aboard with a single, and that is going to bring up the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. Just a couple of defensive notes. Nishino, who came in to pitch hit for Tongu, he goes into second base. The second baseman, Ryo Adachi, has slid over to first base. So those are the defensive changes now for the Buffaloes. So Yanagita is waggling the bat, waiting here on the first offering from the righty Abbey. As he holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses inside. It backs Yanagita off the plate for ball 1. The count is 1-0. Yanagita, of course, got things going with 1 out in the 7th inning when he drew himself a walk, and he was brought home on the home run by Alfredo Despania to tie the ball game. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander holds at the belt. And now he's ready to deliver. He kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It is a great day for baseball, as we said. It is indoors at the Osaka Dome. One thing we haven't seen, if they do get to the Japan series, is I wonder if they're going to be playing a couple of their games in Kobe. We saw, I believe last year, they had a couple on the schedule. So that is where they play some of their home games every year. There's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left center field. Moving back onto the warning track is the center fielder Fukuoka. He makes the grab just in front of the wall, and that is sent a long way. Yanagita just missed it. Just got a little underneath it. He took it to the oppo gap, and that was hauled in by the center fielder Fukuoka for the second out of the inning. Just maybe you got to get into the weight room for a few more curls there, Yuki. Just not far enough. That is going to bring up the designated hitter, Alfredo Despania. So Despania comes to the plate. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He has a home run in his 3 trips. He is now 4 for 16 in the series. He was the hero, or he's kind of in the eyes of the Hawks, the hero for them right now, as he was able to tie the ball game. So hunting and looking for more. 4 for 24 in the playoffs, including that series against the Lions. There's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. You have to be concerned with Despania because he is in scoring position when he steps into the batter's box. The power does play out. He had 14 homers in the regular season, and he had missed quite a bit of action in the early going. The big Cuban right-handed hitter waiting on the offering here from Abbey. And here comes the 1-0 pitch. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 1-1. I think Despania wasn't sure about that one. That pitch looked a little like it was up in the zone. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. The right-hander Abbey gets his sign, and now he's ready to go back to work. And he kicks and fires. It's a split finger pitch that misses down. A nice block by the catcher Wakatsuki. It's now 2 balls and 1 strike. It is going to be looking more and more and more like this game may be headed for extra innings. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, and why not? It's been good baseball here tonight. Here comes the 2-1 offering to Despania. As the right-hander delivers, it is a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep left field, but not deep enough as the left fielder is coming over Nakagawa. He's going to make the catch just in front of the warning track, and that was a false alarm for everybody included. Boy, a deep sigh of relief for the Buffalo fans and faithful in Osaka, as that ball ends up in the glove of Kai Nakagawa. So there was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 8.5. It is the Hawks 2 and the Buffaloes 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the 9th inning when we return, as we are all locked up at 2 apiece. Glad you guys could be with us tonight. Bottom of the 9th coming up in just a couple. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the closer, Levon Manello, coming into the ball game. He is not in a save situation as we have a tie ball game, but the Cuban left-hander is coming on in relief. He is going to be the 6th pitcher used tonight by the Hawks, as he will be coming on to face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order. Our friend Ice Hockey 77 says that it is the bottom of the order prime bunt territory for sure. And it's definitely, if the one of these bottom two can get on base and turn it over for the top part of the batting order, that's where the damage can be done. So our friend who was in here earlier pounding his Bitcoin chest, saying he has money on the game, which is good for him, but he was saying that he has the money on the Buffaloes. Well, this is going to be a tough, daunting task to have to do it, as one of the best in the game is on the mound for Fukuoka. So Moinello ready to go here, as the first pitch is ready to be delivered to Kentaro Kobayashi. And the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Moinello with a 96-mile-an-hour heater right there to Kobayashi. Kobayashi is 1 for 2. He's got a single in 2 trips. He also has a sacrifice bunt. There's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul, and the count is now no balls and 2 strikes. Kentaro Kobayashi. Kobayashi is 1 for 2 in the ball game today. He does have a sacrifice bunt to go with it. 2 for 8 on the series. As here comes the 0-2 pitch from Moinello. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled back behind home plate. And the count is going to remain at no balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Ice Hockey says it's a nasty fastball, curveball. It's more of a slider that he can really bury in there, but it is nasty. He's got a mid-upper 90s fastball and then a slider he can bury into the back foot of the right-handed hitter. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to short. Fielded by Emamiya. He throws to first. A nice pick over there by the first baseman, Akira Nakamura, and that is going to retire Kobayashi for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, for Wakatsuki tonight, he is officially 0 for 3. He is flown out to the center fielder. He's bounced to a fielder's choice, and he has struck out in his 3 trips to the plate. He is officially 1 for 9. Our friend Jerry is in the house, and he says, "Let's go Hawks." That's what I said at the opening of the stream. And so that is where we're at here. Here's the first pitch, fastball. It misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Wakatsuki. They need a base runner. The Buffaloes here, as they are trying to get themselves a spot to manufacture some runs. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field for a base hit. That's going to be a knock for Wakatsuki. That's everything we just talked about. You didn't want to put a runner on and then turn it over to the top of the order. So a base hit for the catcher, Wakatsuki. We'll keep an eye here to see if they're going to leave him in or if they're going to get a pinch runner in for him. I would think if I was making a decision, I'd leave him in unless he got into scoring position. And if it was in scoring position, then you've got to make a decision. And is Wakatsuki better behind the plate than Tori Fushimi? Because you certainly don't want to have a situation there where you've got a catcher who can't control the running game as well as the others. So that's how I would probably make my decision if I was in the shoes of the manager. Well, that's going to bring the top of the order, and it's going to bring Shuhei Fukuda to the plate. He is 0 for 4 tonight. He did reach on an error back in the 3rd inning, and he stole a base. So he is 3 for 16 in the series. So he is here waiting on the offering from the lefty Moinello, who comes to the set position. He checks the runner and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1 to Fukuda. Our friend Ice Hockey says, "I'm not sure you bunt here with the out already." You know, you have to entertain it. You do, because you've got Yuma Mune coming up to bat next and some of the other hitters. And the reason I say you should or would think about it, but the catcher that's running at first base might put the brakes on that one. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-1. If you had a better base runner in terms of foot speed, that might be something to do. That's why I kind of wonder why that Wakatsuki hits 9th and maybe not 8th, and maybe if you had Kobayashi batting in the 9th spot, it doesn't plug up the base paths for your leadoff hitter Fukuda. But that's the questions we'd have to ask the Orix manager for his decision in writing out the batting order. So here's the 1-1 pitch. As the lefty now kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-1. Sometimes a lot of managers will put speed at the bottom of the order to complement the speed at the top of the order, which will give them almost, in essence, a double leadoff. And Jerry says he would bunt. I'm sure there's other people that would be in agreement with you as well. So Moinello leans in. He gets the sign from his catcher, Takuya Kai. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Fukuda. And the lefty kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. I'm always concerned about closers when they come in non-closing situations, how they would do in these situations. And of course, right now, Leafon Moinello is not here to close out the game. He is trying to preserve the tie. But sometimes the mindset of the closers are a little bit different. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Yumamune waits his turn on deck. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball that misses down and away, and that's going to be ball 4. It also drives you crackers as a manager when lefties can't get lefties out. That's going to put runners at first and second. It brings Yumamune to the plate with 1 gone. And this is going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound. But the pitching coach has come out with the trainers. Or I don't know if it's the trainer or the interpreter. Maybe it's the interpreter here because Moinello's Japanese is probably as good as my Greek, which is not very good at all. So they have a conference on the mound here as they've got runners at first and second. The runner at first is Fukuda. The runner at second is Wakatsuki. The conference is over. The interpreter and the pitching coach are on their way back to the dugout. And that is going to bring the third baseman from the Buffaloes to the plate. For Mune tonight, he is 0 for 4. He is 3 for 16 on the series. Our friend Ice Hockey says, would you put the pinch runner in for the catcher running at second base? As I said, I'd have to evaluate. I don't know the difference really between Tori Fushimi, who's the other catcher, and Wakatsuki. If Wakatsuki is your better defensive guy, it's a hard decision to make because if this game goes extra innings, you don't want to put a catcher behind the plate who can't help control the running game. And so I don't know where Fushimi stands in that situation. So they have left the catcher in the ball game to run at second base. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. But certainly a base hit to the outfield is not a guarantee that it's going to score a run with the catcher running at second base. So 1 ball and no strikes to Mune. The lefty Moinello gets his sign from his catcher Kai. He checks the runner over at second as he holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-1 to Mune. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Mune has grounded out twice and twice flown out in those 4 trips in this ball game. He has got a hit in every game of the series except for tonight, so he is due. So here comes the 1-1 offering as the left-hander Moinello gets his sign from his catcher Kai. He checks the runner over at second, and now he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 2-1. So definitely getting into the deep water is the Cuban left-hander. There is a lot of nervous moments in the Hawks dugout as they're hoping that the Cuban can pull them through here. 2 balls and 1 strike to Yumamune. Again, the left-hander Moinello gets his sign from Kai. He checks that runner at second base. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded to the right side of the infield. They go to second for 1, and that's all they're going to get. It's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to go 4-6. That's going to erase Fukuda. as he is gone 4-6 on the putout for out number 2. Mune is going to be safe on the back end. They had no chance to get him at first base, and Kenya Wakatsuki has made his way over to third. Nice play there by the first baseman, Nakamura, to range to his right to field the ball. His play was to second base. But now you've got all kinds of different ways to possibly score that runner from third. A wild pitch, a pass ball, a block. I wonder what kind of crazy ending we're going to have in store for this one here tonight. They are 90 feet away. Our friend John Cardona says he's due for a strikeout. Well, he is. It brings Kai Nakagawa to the plate. Nakagawa tonight is 1 for 3. He scored one of the 2 runs as he was brought home on the home run by Masataka Yoshida. He has also walked. In the series, he is 5 for 14. And how that walk to Fukuda looms large. And there is a fastball that misses. And the runner, Yuma Mune, could have crawled to second base as he goes uncontested. I don't know if they're going to give him a stolen base on it. I probably would say defensive indifference. But now he is at second base. There are runners at second and third with 2 out and 1 ball and no strikes to Nakagawa, with Masataka Yoshida waiting on deck. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. And he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-0. Our friend Ice Hockey 77 says the ump kind of squeezed him there. Yeah, the ump has sort of tightened up the zone in the last couple innings for both of these teams. I have to say the home plate umpire has been pretty good tonight for the most part. There was a couple of calls, even for Fuji in that inning ago, that could have went either way. So here comes the 2-0 pitch as the lefty Moinello holds set. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul. Oh boy, Nakagawa was turned on that one. That's going to reach the seats well into foul territory. He was not fooled on that pitch. He was able to get himself timed up, and he hook barrels that one foul, and the count now goes to 2-1. So in the dugout, Sachiro Yamazaki is giving his prayers. Kai Nakagawa ready here again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Ice Hockey says, don't throw that one again. I would agree with you. Not right back to back. You sometimes want to double up pitches, but that is not one you want to double up. So let's see what Minello's got in his bag of tricks. So the Buffaloes here waiting. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. And now that count is 2-2. That was at 155 kilometers an hour. So that was about a 97 mile an hour heater. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Buffaloes are all leaning in, looking to see if they're going to be able to pull this one off. As the lefty Moinello gets his sign from his catcher Kai. And we're waiting on the offering here to the right-handed hitting Nakagawa. And there's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is lined through the hole, through the 6-hole into left field. And that's going to bring in the winning run as Kai Nakagawa has singled home the winner. And this ball game is over. He's got himself an RBI, and that is going to do it. A base hit single for Kai Nakagawa scores Wakatsuki from third. And your final score is the Orix Buffaloes 3 and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. The Buffaloes are going back to the Japan series to face the Occult Swallows in a rematch of last year's final. And that is the way it's going to go. So that is your final here. We're going to take a 30-second break. We're going to come back. We are going to give you guys the recap of this one. We appreciate you guys for listening in tonight. So I guess that answers that question. We're not going to be back on the airwaves tomorrow. Be sure to bookmark the channel and hit the notification button, as we will be back on again later in the week. And hopefully we can bring you the Japan series in its entirety starting on the 22nd of the month. And for our friend Win there, who is tossing it around, Our email address for our PayPal is on our page. So if you're throwing out the Bitcoin, we're more than happy to take it from you. And we'll buy the drinks for everybody else that's in here. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back to everybody. And our friend Rafael Orlena says thank you. And we thank you as well for being here. We'll give you the recap and the rundown on this one, and then we'll call it a night. So the scoring got going here for back in the fourth inning. It was a leadoff single by Kai Nakagawa, and then Masataka Yoshida hit a 2-run homer off of the starter Tsuyoshi Wada to jumpstart the Buffaloes offense, and they were up 2-0. That's the way the score stayed until the seventh inning. And with one out, Yuki Yanagita drew himself a walk. And then Alfredo de Spagna deposited a home run into the left center field seats to tie the game at 2. Well, that's where the score stood until we went to the ninth inning. At the bottom of the ninth inning, it was with one out. It was Kenya Wakatsuki had singled. And then a walk to Shuhei Fukuda put runners at first and second. Yuma Mune grounded into a fielder's choice, and that was putting runners at first and third. And Kai Nakagawa on a 2-2 pitch had an RBI single to make a winner out of the reliever Abbey, who got the win. So Shota Abbey picks up the win, and Levon Manello takes the loss. And again, your final score is 3-2. Once again, everybody, we appreciate you all for being here, and we thank you for your support of the channel. Once again, it's been another Last Raps Baseball video production. We hope you all have a great night. Come on back and see us again later. It'll be Japan Series starting on October 22nd. Swallows and Buffaloes is a week away. So hopefully you guys can join us there, and hopefully we can be there with you to give you all the play-by-play. As we said, we'll have to find out where we're going to have to pick up our stream. If not, maybe our friend Ice Hockey will do it, and we'll just come and listen to him. Once again, everybody, thanks again for being here with us. Have a great night. We will see you again later. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night. We will catch you again in a week's time. We'll see you again soon.